Welcome back to Westerville Central High School, the WOCC TV3 Game of the Week. We are ready for kickoff between the Warhawks and the Fairbanks Panthers. I'm Andy Kell alongside Jason Jamarco, and the Fairbanks Panthers have won the toss, the Central Warhawks have won the toss and deferred to the second half, and Fairbanks will get the ball first in this game.
It looks like Westerville Central wants to play more of a defensive type game so far. Usually, it's kind of uncommon to see them defer to the second half, but we'll see if the strategy works for them.
And Hastings gets the kick, and we're underway. And we have flags down before we even get the first kickoff off, and I believe that will be, looks like it was offsides there.
Yeah, usually a penalty to start off the game is probably not the best sign that you want to have, but, everyone's probably a little bit jumpy. And I look down, below me, I see a lot of fans here tonight. A lot of fans is a very good thing. Lots of good loyalty, lots of good support, and that's what, every team needs, especially a home team.
And talk about jumpy team, thing also that we didn't mention in our open was that this team is all freshmen and sophomores, this Westerville Central roster, 58 strong, but all of them either freshmen or sophomores, so young, but they can get good in a hurry.
Oh, I think so. And, considering the inexperience they have right now, that could be invaluable to them for down the road, especially when they become juniors and seniors and see how much more they've been able to step up their level of play.
Justin Esterline, one of the deep men, back for the kick from Hastings. And we are about set to go for our first game ever from Central Crossing. At the 5, it's Wood. Across the 20, Wood with the hole. And brought down finally at the 38-yard line, and we're seeing already tough guy to bring down.
Well, of course, who else would you expect to make that return but Jeff Wood, the big running back with the big game. And, he's your ideal choice to return the kick. But, again, another flag so early right here in the game.
And that was a late flag thrown, and we'll check the signal from the official. And it will be face mask against Central and 5-yard variety.
Not quite. Of course, no penalty is a good penalty, but, face mask, really, especially for special teams, it's not the kind of call you want to be, thrown against you.
And with the penalty, first down at the 43-yard line for the Panthers to open up their first drive of this game. Greg Phelps is the quarterback. Wood and Sam Schaefer will be the running backs. Anthony Brandon and Jason Vola will be the wideouts. On first down at the 43-yard line for Fairbanks. Play action, looking to throw underneath. The pass is caught by number 44, Lance Grimes, the tight end, and he gets down to midfield.
Well, I think it was a great throw by Phelps there. He had the pressure coming on him from Westerville Central's defense, so he was just able to snap that ball off. A good catch right there by Grimes.
Second down and 3 early in this game. And across the line, Galen Grant, Mike Richardson, Sean Conley, Jeremiah Dingledine, and Gabe Albanese are the offensive linemen for the Fairbanks Panthers on second down. And this will be Wood on his first carry, gets maybe a yard, and he is brought down by a stack of Westerville Central defensive linemen led by number 24, Jeff Winks.
Well, like I mentioned before in the pregame, they wanted to go that running game early, so they would hand the ball off to Jeff Wood, and right now it hasn't been very productive for them so far to start off, but of course, you're probably see they're going to go back to that again.
But a third and manageable coming up here for Fairbanks. Phelps under center, and he's got slot receivers up top. Phelps on third down and 2. He'll put it up. Under pressure underneath. The pass is nearly intercepted. And Ron Jordan had his hands on it, trying to go underneath to Brian Legg, the intended receiver, but it'll be 3 and out.
Well, 3 and out's not a good situation you want to be in right now to start off the game. It wasn't a very good pass attempt right there, and it looks like we're going to have some change of players in the field here. Gotta wonder if that pass didn't work, and so far the running game has been stopped. Again, it's very early, but what are they going to try and do right here, 3rd and long?
Now it's 4th down, actually, and we'll bring out the punt units. And correction on that last play, Kyle Burns, the intended receiver, number 10. And the punt is off by Sean Conley, and it's a good one. And it hits a Central player, and I believe the Warhawks have recovered it, though, at the 26-yard line as it hit number 88, Louis Lord, one of the wingmen protecting on the punt return.
I think he was just a little bit anxious there for Lord. You know, he wanted to get down the field and make sure, play good special teams, and he just got too anxious. The ball ricocheted right off him. That's not really in a position you want to be, is right beneath that ball when it's coming down.
Especially on one of those low line drive kicks where you don't see it where his back was turned to it, as we could see. First down at the 25-yard line. Play action on first down. Here's the rollout. The throw overshot his intended receiver, Brian Cogswell. That is the quarterback, number 4, Kyle Warden. And if the name sounds familiar, his brother Casey is the punter at Westerville South and also one of the defensive linemen.
Well, it was a great effort by Warden. He was rolling out to his right side, and that was a very good pass. Just he overshot it just a little bit too much. I think he'd like to get another shot at that one.
Warden is the quarterback. Ron Jordan and Chad Pepper will be the wideouts. Cogswell and Reed Pricer are the wideouts. Louis Lord, the tight end, on second down, and he will give it to Jordan coming left side out to about the 34, gain of 8 there.
It's a good run right up the middle. I think it keeps the clock moving, keeps Westerville Central moving up the field, keeps the clock going, and we'll see if the pass didn't work. Obviously the run did.
And finish out the line for the Central Warhawks. Tyler Overton is a wingback. Across the front line, Bob Fresh, Chris Logan, Gary Humphreys, Brandon Barlow, and Kevin Gamble. And the sneak by Warden on third and short, and it appears he's got the first down or very close to it.
That's going to be a very close call, I think, here.
And
bringing up the chains, possibly. Looks like it.
And the referee has signaled for the chain gang to come out, so that will give us some time to set the Fairbanks defense. A 4-3 look. Sean Hoffman, Jeremiah Dingledine, Seth Eichhoff, Lance Grimes are the front four. Sam Schaefer, Chris Albanese, Brady Monroe, the linebackers. Kyle Burns, Justin Esterline, the corners. Greg Phelps and Wood are the safety men.
Looks like it's short.
And that will bring up fourth down and inches at the 35-yard line, just over the 35-yard line here.
Let's look at this again. Just very close. Ron Jordan's trying to get up the middle there. Wasn't going anywhere, just not enough. Couldn't keep his legs turning.
It was interesting running the quarterback sneak on what was more than about a yard on that third down play. Going forward here on fourth down.
Interesting call.
And the front back gets the first down, and that carry by the fullback, Chad Pepper, gets the first down on a gain of 7.
That was a very good play. Very surprising call to go for it on fourth down so early in the game, but Chad Pepper made sure that paid off for them.
And that's one of the things, though, when you have a team that's 1-7, you really are playing for just your pride here, so you can afford to take more chances.
Well, that's a very good call. Like you said, you want to get these, you're playing for pride, and you want these last two games to be very good ones. Take your chances.
First down, wing back, and here comes the end around, and wide open with a big hole is Overton, the wing back, inside the 40-yard line of Fairbanks, down to the 39. And so a little bit of trickeration out of the wing T set.
That was a very beautiful reverse. Overton just took the ball and took off with it on the left side. Warden was looking right. He moves left, and Overton just took off right down the field.
First down, officially a gain of 19 yards. Inside the 40 on first down for the Central Warhawk offense on their opening possession of this game. 8:50 left first quarter. Here's Warren on the rollout. He's going to look option, and he'll have to keep it himself, and he gets nothing. And flipped up by number 33, Jeff Wood. And that's one of the Ironmen that we talked about tonight, Jason.
And Jeff Wood's doing from both sides of the ball tonight, and that's what you want to see, especially out of your best players. Not only does he give his all on offense, he's turning it up on defense as well.
2nd and 9 after a gain of about a half, about a half yard there. 8:20 left here in the first quarter. No score between Fairbanks and Westerville Central. Again out of the wing set. And keeping himself and looking to throw the pass incomplete. Intended for number 88, Louis Lord. And once again, Warden under pressure.
Well, you got to give your credit to Kyle Burns, though, on playing defense with Fairbanks. He was all over that receiver. There was just no chance. It would take a miracle for him to come up with that ball.
And that, again, is credit, though, to the front four as well. 3rd down and 10 coming up at the 39. Warden under center calling the signals for this Westerville Central offense. Wants to throw under pressure, tipped at the line and nearly intercepted. And that ball went right off the hands of Lance Grimes, the defensive end. And I believe it was Seth Eichhoff who got his paw up on that to deflect it in the first place.
Yeah, it looked like Eichhoff or Marcus Carr, one of those two big guys are right down there in front. You know, good stand-up defense, getting your hands up. You never know what could happen. It could turn up a big play. It could almost happen there.
And 4th down, and Warden will drop into the punt formation. And Wood will go back deep to return it. Bit of a low snap, gets the pressure, but gets a nice kickoff. And Wood will take it on the 5. And he has a hole, but he gets out to maybe the 15-yard line. And normally the rule is you don't field the ball on the punt inside the 10-yard line, but Wood did there, and it cost him some field position maybe.
And field position right now, you don't have very good field position is close to your own end zone. And I think right now they're just going to have to find a way to march the football up the field. You don't want to go 4 and out, especially when you're so far deep in your own territory.
1st down with 7:57 left in the first quarter. Scoreless here on homecoming at Westerville Central. And on 1st down for the Fairbanks Panthers, Phelps will give it to Wood coming around left end. He gets over the 20-yard line, lost the ball. There's a scramble for it, and it is Central's ball at the 15-yard line. And we'll see who came up the recovery. It looks like number 47, John Schneider, with the recovery. Something even worse than a 3-and-out.
That's even worse because, you know, Wood had that ball right in his hands. He just took that, took a helmet-to-helmet hit, as we're going to see again here on the replay. And you see here, Phelps making the call. There's the snap. Hands off to Wood, who goes off the right side. And you see he took that helmet-to-helmet hit. Looks like from number 28 from Central, and just coughed up the ball. Hits like that will knock the ball right out of your hands.
1st down, the up back gets it, and that's Pepper, and he's near another 1st down at the 5-yard line. And so in a game of this kind of even matchup, turnovers are often the difference.
Well, if that's how the game's going to start off, you know, you can make a good bet that's how the game's going to continue. But, you know, give your credit to Central. They're being relentless right now, and they're very close. They're right in the end zone. They want that score.
2nd down and inches for Central just outside the Fairbanks 5, trying to take advantage of the turnover. And they'll stay with the wing set up the middle. Pepper, touchdown, Westerville Central, as Chad Pepper walks it in from 5 yards out. 7:06 left in the first quarter, and Westerville Central jumps out to the 6-0 lead.
And the lead is very important in a game like this where the teams are so evenly matched. Good run by Chad Pepper. Get that score on the board.
And getting set.
Taking some high fives here. You can see it again. And he just marches right through the right side. Virtually no resistance from whatsoever. Just marched right into the end zone.
Looks like Brandon Barlow with one of the key blocks on the drive on that touchdown play. And Hastings for the extra point. It's up, and it is 7-0 in favor of the Warhawks here on their homecoming night, getting the early turnover and taking only 2 plays to score the touchdown.
And that's what you want. Good, quick execution, capitalizing on other team's mistakes. I think it's a very good way to start off the game, and we'll see how much further Central can go with this, or Fairbanks can march back.
And they got the turnover off of the man who we talked about in our open as being the key for Fairbanks, and that was Jeff Wood. And the guy who got that hit on that play, Chris Barthel, and I think you mentioned it very well, was an excellent technique to hit that ball out of with his helmet.
Yeah, it's, you know, usually you figure if someone's going to cough up the ball, it's because someone's got their hands on the ball and just slips from right underneath you. But just get a little bit dazed and confused by a helmet-to-helmet hit. Even your best players might be able to cough that ball up.
That was a 2-play, 15-yard drive in 42 seconds, 3 carries for 21 yards so far for Chad Pepper. We'd like to thank Scott Bacon for providing the stats up here in the booth tonight. Hastings will kick it to Esterline and Wood.
Looks like Fairbanks has some of their men in motion, finally getting themselves set for the kick. The hand is up.
And Hastings approaches and gets it off. And yet another flag as one of the down linemen was a little too anxious getting away from the snap. And we've already seen a couple of botched kickoffs already from Central tonight.
Yeah, I think after taking that score, again, they're being a little bit jumpy, a little bit anxious, but right now you just want to play your game very elementary. You've already scored. Now all you have to do is just play solid defense. And the first part of all that's just getting the kick down the field.
5-yard penalty will mark the ball back to the 35-yard line for the kickoff for Ben Hastings with 7:06 left in the first quarter here on the WOCC TV3 Game of the Week between Westerville Central and the Fairbanks Panthers out of Milford Center, just a little bit southwest of Marysville along Route 33. And Hastings will get this one again. Hastings slips on that kick. Wood at the 17. Wood looking for a seam at the 35 up the sidelines. And finally brought down at the 44-yard line. And as it almost always seems when there's a penalty on a kickoff, it comes back to hurt the kicking team.
That's what we've seen so far in this game. Give credit to Jeff Wood. Really, the only person that was keeping the way of getting further down the field was his own men. He had to wind up running over sometimes through some of his own men. But, you know, again, that penalty is going to come back and hurt them, but at least they have better field position. And it'll give them, of course, a much better chance to score.
First down at the 44-yard line for the Fairbanks Panthers with Jeff Wood in the game. Phelps the quarterback for these Panthers. Blitz coming. Here's the toss play coming to Wood. He's got a nice hole, and he's got a man to beat, and he is knocked down inside the 35-yard line by Jeff Winks, but not before he gets 22 yards and another Fairbanks first down in their first foray into Central Territory tonight.
Wood just took that up the left field, and we'll see again on the replay that it was Kyle Burns who made the big hit, made the big block, allowed him to get further down the field.
And it's always those wide receivers, it seems, when you get a long run downfield with the great blocking.
That's what a great wide receiver does. If the ball's not coming to you, you've got to make sure you do what you can to make sure the player gets the ball further down the field.
First down at the 33. Wood continues as the deep back in the eye. And they will give it to the up back. No, it's an option keeper by Phelps inside the 30-yard line for a gain of 5. And we saw Central come with the option on their first possession, and now we see Fairbanks with it.
That was Sam Schaefer there with the deception. A little bit of the draw to get the option up the middle. Again, just move the ball slowly up the field. We now have second down and 5 to go. Interesting to see what kind of play they'll pull out here.
Both receivers are out to the right side on this second down and 5 as Central maybe looking for a little blitz up the middle here. And the play action by Phelps has a lot of time, swings it out, complete to the 25-yard line. A nice catch by Wood, but the ball's loose again, and it is picked up by the Warhawks. And down at midfield to the 49-yard line of the Panthers is number 30.
We're going to look at this again on the replay. That was number 30 for Central, as you can see here.
Actually, correction, it was number 70. Brendan Barlow.
It was a good hit on Jeff Wood there, and they were just relentless, eventually knocking the ball loose. Number 70's picking it up, and that's playing really good defense right there. Smash mouth defense almost, because you don't want to let the opposing team get those extra yards. So you hit them, and you hit them hard, and it's paid off in dividends for them.
And he hit him right before he got that football into his breadbasket. So great defensive techniques. 2 fumbles lost early by Jeff Wood, and we have a penalty at the end of that play. And this may be in the area of a hold or an illegal block call. And it is a block in the back penalty, so it will set the Warhawks back to their own 37-yard line. 5:59 left in the first quarter, and Central leading 7-0 early in this football game.
As we saw in the last series on offense for Central, it was Chad Pepper who came up with the 2 big plays for them to get that score. We'll see if they can repeat something here.
Pepper is the fullback, and Warden with the play action gets away. He can run. And Warden into Panther territory, flung out of bounds at the 48-yard line. and he is knocked out of bounds by Kyle Burns.
That's a very good run there by Warden. He just was able to, he's squeaky enough to be able to get his way out of being sacked here, and it's a good run down the field. Not only he took the hit, he didn't slide.
And if we can get a look at this replay, and it's been that run action that set up the play action bootleg.
Look at here, shakes off his defenders, now he's just going to take the ball himself. Heads towards the sidelines, which is a smart play, and he gets wrapped up. He's almost lose control of the ball as he's falling out of bounds, but he's able to hold on to enough.
First down at the 49, and that's Jordan, the tailback, getting the carry, and he gets to the 43-yard line. Gain of 6, tackled on the play by Jeremiah Dingledine. And we're seeing these Fairbanks players have been out for a lot of snaps early.
And that's going to play a huge factor. Again, Fairbanks with the smaller, the smaller roster. And right now, you want to just do what you can to get that ball back into your hands. So you don't have to keep your defensive players out on the field, especially when they're playing on both sides of the ball.
Second and a short 4 in the wing T offense for Central. And they will give it on the counter action. This is Overton with a big hole. He could go all the way. Overton, touchdown, Westerville Central, as the wing T offense shows another wrinkle on a 42-yard touchdown run by the wingback Tyler Overton, and it's 13-0 in favor of the Warhawks.
Well, it started off with Chad Pepper. Now it looks like it's Overton's turn, as we can see here. Takes the ball. No one's defending him. He's able to slip through 2 defenders and just march his way down the field. That was a great block there. Allowed him to get into the end zone right there at the last moment. That's what you need. Good players and good execution.
It's the second time we've seen him come on that end around play and get big yards. The first time he took it all the way, and as you said so properly on the last replay, just took it right up the middle, as Hastings will kick the extra point again with the quarterback Warden to hold it.
It's all elementary right here.
And it's up, and the kick is through, and it's 14-0 with 5:04 left in this opening quarter. 2 Jeff Wood fumbles and 2 touchdowns for the Central Warhawks, and they have a 2-touchdown lead early in this first quarter.
It looks like Jeff Wood, their big superstar player for Fairbanks, has shown a couple chinks in his armor here, and looks like Westerville Central's definitely been able to capitalize. No, I might have to eat my words saying they were playing defensively by letting their possession go until the second half. It looks like that could be a much smarter strategy right now, especially being up 14-0.
It's conventional wisdom, too, that most teams, especially at the high school level, will take the ball first, or will take the defense first, as opposed to taking the ball, wanting your defense, who plays with a lot of emotion, to get out an early scoring drive. And this scoring drive was 54 seconds, 3 plays, 62 yards. So we've seen the big playability for these Westerville Central Warhawks. That was the second carry for Overton, 62 yards, not a bad average.
Not bad at all.
And Hastings quickly getting a little workout here, as he will send it away to Wood, who is the deep back in kind of an I return formation. Hastings line drive. And Wood will just wisely let this one go out of bounds, and it will be a penalty. First down at the 35 for Fairbanks.
Well, it looks like that if you're at Fairbanks right now, you just let a ball just bounce out of bounds and do what you can from here. Closest man to that to the ball was Justin Esterling, so there's a wise decision letting the ball bounce out of bounds.
And a 20-yard penalty from where the ball went out of bounds to where the ball will be spotted. And a first down for the Fairbanks Panthers, trailing 14-0 with 5:04 left in this opening period.
Well, keeping this is only the first quarter, it's plenty of time to bounce back from 2 touchdowns. Fairbanks just has to be patient right now and just do what they can to get the ball up the field.
And on first down, snap is fumbled and recovered by Greg Phelps, the quarterback, but nearly another disaster.
It looks like the last time they coughed up the ball was, again, on a play that really the defense for Central was playing really tight, and it was on a pass last time, almost happened on a run this time.
It looked like he never got the snap cleanly, though, on that last play.
That's a very elementary thing. It's basic when you're quarterback. You want to have your clean snaps. If not, it really doesn't take that much for the defense to jump over the ball and recover for themselves.
Second down at about 12. Phelps, here's the pitch play. Wood looking for something. Not much there at all. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Jeff Winks again on the stop. We've called his name quite a few times.
Well, Winks definitely coming up big there on that play. You know, it's playing solid defense right now for Central. They're doing very good things from both sides of the ball right now. And Wood really, as we mentioned in the pregame, he was supposed to be the big man so far for Fairbanks, and they've given him the ball. They have given him the opportunity, but unfortunately he just hasn't been able to capitalize and move the ball downfield.
He's had one good run of about 22 yards, but other than that, as you said, has been held in check on 3rd down and 13, a loss of about a yard. Phelps will have to go to the air. On 3rd down, we'll put it up, going downfield, and the throw is overthrown, incomplete. Wanted to go to Justin Esterline and overshot him, and it will be 3 and out, and the punt unit will come on.
With Central again getting another chance to score. Fairbanks really just had to launch it to the air this time, and they figured they weren't able to get down the field with Wood after the passing game, and really all of Fairbanks' passes so far, their quarterback in specific, Greg Phelps, has not had that very many good passes so far in this game. He'll have to really sharpen those up if he wants to have any kind of attack.
Conley will punt it, and it will hit at the 45 and get a little bit of a Fairbanks bounce, and Central wisely letting that ball go after near disaster on the first punt, and they will take over with very good field position at their own 43 at 3:27 to go first quarter, and the pressure goes back to Fairbanks defense.
And again, they've been on the field for quite long so far here in the first quarter. Got to be sure some of those players have got to be feeling the burn right now, at least a little bit.
And we look over, as you can see on the far sideline, there's not many players on that bench for Fairbanks. First down at the 42. Warden will go to the air on first down. Wants the deep ball. He's got a man inside the 30-yard line. Great catch by Brian Cogswell with the defender all over him.
That was a great catch by Cogswell. Really with the defender right on him, Cogswell got his hands up where his defenders weren't and just caught the ball. That's nothing more than just great athleticism right there.
First down at the 29. That was a gain on that play of 29 yards, and we'll move the chains. 14-0, and the Warhawks looking for more. On first down, Warden will give it to the D-back. Brown to the 30, or Jordan, to the 25-yard line. Gain of about 4.
What we've seen so far, Chad Peppers come up with the big play on offense for the Warhawks. Then it's been Tyler Overton. You got to maybe wonder if it's going to happen again, which it very well looks like, considering they're in very good field position. Who's going to come up big this time for the Warhawks on offense to get that touchdown?
2nd and 7 after 26 officially. And he will give it to the deep back, and that's Pepper, the fullback, for maybe a couple of yards, and he is stopped on the play by Brady Monroe, one of the linebackers for Fairbanks.
I have to say it's very uncharacteristic of Fairbanks to have already given up 2 touchdowns in this game, considering their win this previous week was 41-6.
On the average, they do give up 23 points a game, and in reading some of the articles this week, Fairbanks talked about how difficult it is to stop this kind of offense. Warden on a busted play, and Warden somehow able to make it out to the 20-yard line near a first down. Great instincts by the quarterback of the Warhawks.
Warden just showed good instincts there. He saw that he had no one to throw to. It was clearly a passing play gone wrong. So in a situation like this, you don't want to throw it away. As you can see here, comes close to the sidelines, gets his head down, and just takes the hit right onto the field.
4th and 1, and the Warhawks already up 14 points will go for it on 4th down. And Overton is in the game as the wingback in this offensive set. And Warden will try and keep it, but down he goes. Great defensive play by Jeff Wood, redeeming himself for his 2 fumbles with a great play blowing it up in the backfield.
Jeff Wood has realized if I'm not getting done on offense, I've got to do something on defense. And right there, it just looked like it was a blitz all the way from Fairbanks. They just collapsed all over Warden. We're going to get another look at it here on the replay and see how this whole play went down. You can see number 27 in motion, And really no chance. He was already wrapped up, it looked like, from Jeff Wood and Chris Albanese coming through on the sack there for Fairbanks.
And it looked like definitely a missed blocking assignment on Jeff Wood. First down at the 30, lost the 10. Fairbanks takes over on downs, and this is Wood up the middle, and he gets over to the 38-yard line as we're down to 1:15 seconds left in this opening quarter.
Looks like Fairbanks wants to give themselves another chance here. Receiving the ball on downs, maybe gives you slightly better field position if you would take in the kick. Right now, Fairbanks has not had very many good kick returns, so you take what you can get. And there's still plenty of time left in the half, even though the quarter is winding down. See how they can march up the field now.
Second down and 2 at the 38. And we have whistles and flags down, and usually that means some sort of procedure penalty against the offense.
Might be some kind of a false start, maybe too many men in motion.
That's exactly. And a costly penalty after a couple of costly turnovers. And it's been surprising, Jason, considering that Fairbanks has managed to stay in second and third and makeable situations, and yet they're just not getting it done offensively.
Well, it doesn't hurt right now if you go ahead and have your own series start and you're arguing penalties called against you. Not how you want to end the first quarter.
Second and 2 instead. It's second down and 7 at the 33-yard line in the final minute of this first quarter. Trailing 14-0 are the Fairbanks Panthers. Warhawks showing blitz, and this will be the inside handoff to Schaefer, the fullback, trying to throw him a bone to the 36-yard line, and a very late flag came in as some pushing and shoving going down in the pile, and there may have been a face mask or a personal foul of some kind.
Looks like it's against Westerville Central.
Unsportsmanlike conduct and a costly penalty for the Warhawks. Instead of having it third down and short, it's now first down at the midfield stripe. Actually, it'll be inside midfield, down at the 48-yard line of the Warhawks with 20 seconds left in this opening quarter.
Now, Fairbanks, all they can do right now is take advantage of the penalties against Central. Even though they come up with huge plays on offense, it's the penalties that, as we've seen in the past in other high school games, they do come back to haunt you.
First down at the 48-yard line. Phelps under center. On the play action, blitz coming, and down he goes. Number 24, Jeff Winks, again with another big play in the backfield, and that will be the last play of this first quarter.
Looks like for Westerville Central, they have the momentum going to the second quarter. Let's get another look at it right here from Winks. And just with a huge hit, no one can see him coming. Looks like Phelps had just enough time to make a turn to his left, and Winks was right there to take the hit for him, to give him the hit. Excuse me.
And that's the end of the first quarter here at Westerville Central. The Warhawks have dominated. They lead 14-0 here on the WOCC TV3 Game of the Week. 14-0 lead here on the WOCC TV3 Game of the Week. Andy Kell alongside Jason Jermarco. And Jason, a first quarter which has been filled with the fundamental mistakes by the Fairbanks Panthers. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns.
And we'll get a look at some of the numbers for their player, Jeff Wood. He's had 5 carries so far for 35 yards, but it's only led to 1 catch, and he's caught for the ball twice. So really, that's probably what's not helped Fairbanks' cause right now.
And here's the pitch play to Wood. He's got a lot of room, and he's inside the 45 down to the 40-yard line on first down and long, and he gets a lot of the yardage back and then some.
That was a good pitch out by Phelps. We'll get another look at it here. The long pitch over to Wood. He does nothing else but just run up the field off the sidelines. Looks like it's number 5 and number 32 on defense for the Warhawks. Looks like Zach Reed.
And it was Monroe who threw the nice kick-out block to spring that play for some yardage. Third down and 3 for the Fairbanks Panthers. Handoff. This is Wood, and he's got the first down, pushing the pile forward to the 35, and he will move the chains, and he is stopped on the play by number 88, Louis Lord.
A good player moves his team forward down the field, coming up with the first down when they need it. Now it's in Fairbanks' hands right now to just take the ball, move it up the field, get themselves on the board for this game. We'll get another look at it here, and Phelps, the nice handoff to Wood, who just keeps pushing the way down the field behind his own defenders, and great blocking there by number 74 on his own team.
Ryan Daniels with a nice block there. Fakes the pitch out, and here comes the throwback screen, and a nice catch by Lance Grimes, the tight end. And that play looked like it was dead, but Grimes gets it to the 31, a gain of about 5 where Winks will make the stop.
Grimes able to shake his defender off the screen there, it looked like. And that's elementary right there to make sure the blocking gets there ahead of you do, before you do. And Grimes able to take the ball up the field. Again, Fairbanks now in much better field position. They've been in for most of the game. See how they can capitalize.
2nd down and 5 at the 31 for the Panthers. Here's that toss play to Wood. Nice move, and he gets down to the 25, but a flag goes down in the backfield, and it looked like Ryan Daniels, number 74, is guilty of the holding penalty.
That's not very good news right now for Fairbanks. You want to be able to move the ball up the field. And again, it looks like ticky-tack penalties on both sides for both teams. But regardless, it's still the Warhawks up 14-0 here in the second quarter. But it looks like Jeff Wood's been able to redeem himself slowly but surely in this game. He's got a couple of great runs right now. So a matter of time now, maybe until they get back to the end zone. All they have to do is just be patient.
And he's had some good runs in this game, but it's just been whenever he's had a couple good runs, he's dropped the ball. And on that last play, it looked like Daniels was out there blatantly in front of the referee. They're going to catch you every time. 2nd down and 15 after the penalty. And the Warhawks showing a blitz. And Phelps will go deep, and he's got a man incomplete. The nearest receiver was Brady Monroe. He had 2 guys downfield who were open behind their defenders.
Well, it's very unfortunate for Phelps. He had all the time in the world to throw it. He got his feet set in the pocket. He has eyes down the field. And as you mentioned, his receivers were very wide open. Just a case of not getting the ball where you want it to go. Just a really good example of an overshoot.
3rd down and 15 at the 41 for Fairbanks. Already 14 points in the hole on the road at Westerville Central.
Looks like split backs for Fairbanks. Man in motion.
Esterline will motion up top. And the play action, Phelps to throw. He's got the quick slant, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by number 2, Jonathan Johnson, as he read that pass perfectly.
We'll be able to get another look at that. It was a case of Central's defense being right where the ball was, and either one of those 3 men was going to pick it off. Look, you can see here Phelps makes the throw. And that was a case of being able to be where the ball was and had to be. I think Phelps was anticipating another cut there off the route and just wasn't coming there for him. Threw right into the Central defense.
1st down at the 25 after the 3rd Fairbanks turnover of the night. And here comes that end-around play, and finally the Fairbanks defense has it read to Overton. No gain, but a flag is down around the line of scrimmage, and that's usually in the area of offensive holding. Is indeed holding, and they'll set him back 10 yards.
And to have some offensive numbers for Westerville Central. They've had 15 rushing plays so far and 3 pass-playing attempts. For the rushing plays, it's equalized to 113 yards, whereas their passing game's only led to 29 yards. 18 plays total for 142 yards of total offense. So, just do simple numbers of math here. Rushing plays definitely led to more for them. Go with what works.
126 yards all told last week in the loss to Zanesville on the road. A much better job this time, as there is movement, and we'll have to see who is drawn, and it appears that it will be an offsides penalty as the lineman jumped into the neutral zone, and Westerville Central will get 5 yards back the cheap way.
That's very good for Westerville Central to be able to move the ball downfield again. But, you know, if you're a Fairbanks player right now in defense, you don't want to be risking any kind of premature jumps. And looks like at least 2 defenders got into the neutral zone.
And the inside handoff to the fullback, and that's Pepper to about the 27-yard line, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, where it'll bring up 2nd and 8 with 9:40 left in the first half and a 14-0 lead for Westerville Central, and a key drive, Jason, for the Fairbanks defense.
Well, I think so. Very key drive. This could be really what sets the tone for the first half. If Fairbanks can't get the ball back out of this series, they could be in some serious trouble heading to the second half, where Central will get the ball back for themselves.
Option play and the delay pitch, and it goes through and knocked out of bounds with a first down is number 33 for the Central Warhawks, Houston Brown, one of the tailbacks, the second string tailback, I should say, and he gets a nice run and a first down.
That's a good example of the Central Warhawks using all of their players, all of their weapons that they have right now. Not really one player so far in this game that's really stood out on them for offense, so you really just have to give it to whoever's going to get the ball downfield for you, and it looks like everyone's contributing so far in this game.
First down at the 42, fakes that end around, and on the option, that will be the keeper by Warden, the quarterback, to midfield. And the other thing we're seeing, too, is they are going up behind their big 300-pounder, Arlen Estep.
I think for Kyle Warden, look at a quarterback like him, and you figure he's one that really makes a lot of very smart decisions. He really wants to move the ball up the field. I think he's more inclined to pass the ball, but he sees that if he has no one available for him, he has no qualms with just taking the ball up the field himself, and he really will take that hit, whatever gets the ball down the field, and you have to admire that in a quarterback.
Midfield 2nd and 4, and the quarterback sneak, and he gets the first down at the 43-yard line. And you talked about that decision-making, and Central's coaches are keeping Fairbanks' defense off balance.
Now they keep them off balance. They're still keeping them on the field. Warden just keeps springing up the field. I don't think I've ever seen that many quarterback sneaks. As you can look here again, the replay, and he just takes the ball himself. The only one who could really stop him there was number 10, Kyle Burns, on defense for the Fairbanks. He was the one that tripped up Warden on that play.
At the 43, here's another running play on first down, and that's Houston Brown with the hole, breaks a tackle, gets inside the 20 on his feet, and trips up at the 5-yard line. Houston Brown refusing to go down after a gain of 38 yards.
That was a great run. As you can see, as you might be able to see again on a replay that, and we will have that replay, that he should not have made that far down the field. He had defenders wrapped up around him, as we can see here. Takes the run up the left side, breaks through one defender, either gets caught up by two more and keeps his legs churning. We have a timeout called. It looks like it's on Fairbanks. But again, looks like it's Houston Brown now who's becoming the big player in offense for Central. And that's what you want to see in a player who's going to run the ball. Keeps his legs churning because it will get you those huge extra yards as it has for Central.
Busted 4 tackles on that play to get the first down, and it will be 1st and goal inside the 5, and Westerville Central, as we mentioned, coming into tonight's game, 1-7, Fairbanks 2-6 off the win last week, 41-6 against Yellow Springs. And we're seeing tonight a Westerville Central team, a young team, very young team, with nobody, even a junior on it, but they are playing with a lot of poise early in this game.
Well, I agree, and that's what you want out of young players. The record's very deceiving. They might be 1-7 on the year, but they sure aren't playing it, and that's what really makes you, as a player on this team, it really makes you feel good saying, we're going to take this game no matter what, and they're sure playing like it right now.
1st and goal inside the 5 and looking for more, up 14-0 with 8:10 left in the first half. And it will be Jordan back into the game, and we're going to have movement, and it looked like the tight end, Louis Lord, or someone along the line moved, and 5-yard penalty in the red zone, just as we were talking about the poise Central's been showing.
Well, I think they've shown very good poise on offense, and right now it's simple. I don't want to say perhaps not immaturity, but again, they're very anxious to get back into that end zone, which they've been doing a very good job of so far in this game. And right now, it's just a simple case of relaxing, get the play down the field. You're very close, you're within striking distance, and that's what Central's going to do. That's what they have to do.
1st down and goal, ball now at the 10. And the D-back will get the call. Jordan inside the 5, down to maybe the 2, as the holes are opening up so wide for the Central runners.
I know Jordan, he was very disappointed. You could see him, he was kind of slapping the ground there after he got tackled because he knew he was so close. He wants that touchdown. As you can see here, Jordan takes the hit and just tries to get that hand out, and just a little bit of frustration there, but they're very close.
2nd and goal, and
Wow.
Wharton got annihilated. And it was Jeff Wood coming off the backside to make the stop, and that play never had a chance, and they're lucky are the Warhawks that they get the ball back.
Wood just blasted right through the offensive line, right when the ball was snapped. You know, there was a hole wide open for him. Looks like the offensive line didn't even see him coming. Maybe that was a blitz planned all along, but Wood with the huge hit, and looks like even though he's not showing very much on offense right now, he's more than making up for it on the defensive end.
3rd and goal at the 9. One wide receiver in the jumbo set with the wingback. Warden looks like he wants to roll the option. Now he'll throw to the end zone, incomplete, off the hands of Cogswell, who made that big catch on the earlier drive. And it will be 4th down at the 9-yard line. And it looks like Hastings will come on for the field goal attempt. So a victory of sorts for the Fairbanks defense.
You could say that. You know, I think if you're the Fairbanks coach, all you could really say is, well, at least we didn't let him get in the end zone. But again, you have to look at the numbers right now. This will put you 17-0 with just under 7 minutes left in the half, and Central getting the ball back. So right now, against a premature movement, again by Fairbanks, but looks like they're pointing the fingers at Central, saying it was them who drew Fairbanks off the line. Interesting to see what the call is here.
And that was going to be a 25-yard attempt by Ben Hastings, who's already kicked 2 extra points tonight. And I think you're right that this one will go against the Westerville Central Warhawks. And it looked like number 7, J.D. Pasula, may have been the guilty party. Moving along the line. Actually, correction, it will go against Fairbanks.
Interesting.
So it'll move the ball half the distance, put it on the 5-yard line, and we'll see if they continue to go with the field goal unit or if they will kick or if they'll go for it.
It looks like they're going for the point after attempt. Really, they have nothing much to lose right now. If they were to go for the extra 2 points, you wouldn't be able to blame them, but it looks like they're going to kick the ball.
22-yard field goal attempt is up, and it's right down Main Street. Hastings puts 3 more on the board with 6:49 to go in the first half. 17-0 in favor of Westerville Central, and that energy we see so often on homecoming. And Westerville Central, the
It's
team
definitely
that's
showing itself tonight.
and they've been waiting to get back home. They've had 3 games in a row on the road at Johnstown, and their only win so far, 35-6 win 2 weeks ago at Olentangy Liberty, and then losing last week, as we mentioned, 28-13 to Zanesville. Now, Fairbanks is down 17-0, Jason. Do they still have to hit the panic button, or can they still afford to go into their run-oriented offense?
Well, as you see many times in high school football, 17 points can be turned around you really, really quickly. I think if you're Fairbanks, you stick to your game plan, but I think on the defensive side, I really don't think offensively they have much to worry about because they haven't been able to move the ball up the field when they've absolutely had to. They've been able to turn it over to players like Jeff Wood, but the defense really is probably given the most problems because of not really coming up in the big plays, offensive plays from Central, but also because of the penalties. And I think that's hurt them more than anything else so far and why they haven't been able to put any points on the board.
Jeff Wood is the deep back. His 2 kick returns have gone for 56 yards in this game. And we'll see if Hastings tries to keep it out of his hands. Tried it the last time and knocked it out of bounds as a result. Hastings the line drive, and it will come to Wood on the bounce. He's going to have to pick this one up, bobbles it. And Wood is popped at the 30-yard line, and number 32, Mark Gilmer, there to deliver the shot.
Looks like Mark Gilmer, yes, he was the big man with the big hit on that play. But again, not bad field position for Fairbanks. Wood almost really kind of lost the ball for the kick here. He was able to come up with it with one hand and really be able to take it down the sideline. So really, that kickoff could have been much worse than it actually was for Fairbanks.
Actually spotted at the 29 on first down. Wood continues in the game as the deep back.
It's movement from Central behind the line.
And Wood will get the carry along left tackle to about the 33, 34-yard line, 4 or 5. And Jason, we're seeing this again, though. They're getting 4 or 5 on first down. And if you looked at the scoreboard and said 17-0, you'd be thinking that Fairbanks offense hasn't done anything, but that's not been the case.
That's definitely not been the case. It's been penalties really for both sides, more prominently on defense, but you know, as mentioned, Fairbanks has been able to move the ball up the field with some significance, but really has not equated to much of anything, not even a field goal attempt.
17 points off 3 turnovers has been the key in this game. Second down option. Phelps will keep it. Phelps, no! He's still on his feet. Phelps, after all of that, gets maybe 3 yards on that play, but one of the more entertaining 3-yard runs you'll see.
I have to agree there. Phelps taking a book out of, looks like Kyle Warden's page out of his book, just saying, I'm just going to hold on to the ball. I'm not going to give it up so easily. And saw there was a whole bunch of black jerseys, so he figures I'll just take the other way. And as you said, one of the more entertaining 3-yard runs. You can see here, looks like he's going to go for the right side. And he breaks, looks like 2 tackles, a third one right there, and takes the ball towards the left side until he's finally tripped up by number 5 from Central, Zach Reed.
Third down and a yard at the 38. Stack line for Central, and the give is to Wood, and he bounces off the tackle and gets the first down with that surge to the 41. And they're moving the chains with some regularity, but again, it's been those 3 turnovers that have been the story.
I agree. You know, Fairbanks, as we can see here, they're being able to move the ball up the field, and really it's been probably by the most uneasiest of ways. I'm sure it's got to be very unsettling for the offensive coordinators for Fairbanks, but the most important thing is they are getting the ball down the field, and soon enough, if they can get through the 50-yard line, you know, who knows, they might be able to get some points on the board after all.
They're in the slot on first down. Phelps with the play action. Looking deep underneath, incomplete, and a great defensive play by Ron Jordan, as we're seeing that Central's players can do it on both sides.
Yeah, I think that's been one thing you expect with such a large roster that Central has, so they have players that play just offense, players play just defense. But as we can see here, we have players like Cogswell, Pepper, you know, and most importantly, as we saw right here, Jordan, players that can do it on offense as well as defense.
Second down and 10, and that's the second time tonight we've seen them read the crossing routes. One got picked off, and that last one was batted down. Phelps struggling through the air tonight.
The passing game has not worked so far. You have to try something else. Again, some movement behind the line from Central.
Second down, and Phelps under pressure, and he gets away and fights forward for 3 yards, but he is popped for his trouble by number 24, Jeff Winks again, and slow to get up is Greg Phelps, the quarterback.
Well, I think you have to ask the question, where has the offensive line been really for both teams? Both quarterbacks of Warden and Phelps have to keep themselves on the run. As you can see here, got some pressure on his left side and just gets drilled from behind by the same player, number 24 from Central. That would be Jeff Winks. Again, coming up big on defense. The big hits when they need them.
Third down and 7 at the 43-yard line as Central shows the blitz, and the snap is loose, and I believe Central may have gotten this one as there's a scrum, and Warhawk football at the 42-yard line.
Warhawks being able to capitalize huge here.
And the recovery is made by number 22, Chris Logan, and Phelps is down again.
This could be much worse.
Oh, this is serious for sure, as we'll get a look on that replay of the snap.
You can see here, it looks like right off the snap, we have a whole mess of black jerseys that fell right on Phelps. As we can see here, looked like one of those black jerseys landed right on his leg. Couldn't be really definitive as whose actually was, but Phelps took the hit right on his leg. Might have contorted his knee somewhat, and he's not getting up from the ground right now, as you can see.
And it appeared from that last replay that it may have been number 7, J.D. Pasula, making the hit that fell on the leg of Greg Phelps, the quarterback, as the trainers for both teams are down and looking at the quarterback. And, you know, we talk about injuries, as we can obviously see the Fairbanks players concerned, obviously for the well-being of their teammates. But when you only have 26 guys on the roster, you can't afford to lose anybody, least of all your starting quarterback.
Exactly. You look up and down the roster, and there's really, who do you ask who's going to fill in for Phelps? And of course, you never want to see a player go down in a game, regardless of the level, regardless of who you're playing with or against. So right now, we still see Phelps down on the field. Both players from both teams on taking a knee. And I think Phelps still on the ground.
By the way, that is the 4th turnover tonight for Westerville Central. And I'd like to thank Scott Bacon again for the stats in the booth tonight. As we're looking at Greg Phelps, and he gets up.
Feet.
Looks like maybe his knee or something, maybe his left knee. But he appears to be getting up, so at least there is some good news for the quarterback for Fairbanks, but his availability is uncertain. But right now, the pressure falls again back to Fairbanks defense.
I think it's interesting to note that if it was the 4th turnover so far, that the score is still only 17-0 from the Warhawks. It's 1st and 10 now for the Warhawks. And of course, right now everyone's a little bit cooled down after that injury scare, and you want to be able to get your momentum going right here. You're probably going to want to execute a little bit more quickly here on offense to make sure you can still keep your players moving, keep the blood flowing.
And Houston Brown is the deep back on 1st down, but Warden going up top, and he's got Overton and in and out of his hands, and Ryan Green was with him step for step.
Overton going up for the reception, just couldn't quite pull it down. He was bobbing it in his hands, and much credit to Kyle Warden for just saying, whatever, I'm just going to air out the ball. Not really having much of a running game so far, utilizing more of their offensive weapons, and that's an example of it every once in a while, taking a risk going down the field. Unfortunately, did not pay off for them on that last play.
The Warhawks have given up 37 points per game this year. They have shut out Fairbanks, and the up-back Pepper gets the carry to about the 40, as it will bring up 3rd down and 7 with 3:42 in the clock running in the first half. Warhawks with all 3 timeouts remaining.
Right now, I'd say it's advantage Central, not only because of the score, but because of the situation they have right now. Just under 3.5 minutes left in the half, and they will get the ball back. They are doing all the right things right now on offense, and they don't want to let this game slip away. They want to keep pounding it towards the end zone. Again, they're going with that wing set offense.
3rd and 7. There's that control bootleg by Warden, and he will get rid of it. Nice pass breakup by number 7, Justin Esterline, and he wanted to go to Cogswell on that 4th down, and for the first time tonight, Fairbanks defense holds after a turnover.
And that's what Fairbanks needs right now, is to be able to keep their defense still in this game, get those guys off the field, and make something happen on offense. That's a very crucial thing. Something right now is all that they need.
3:08 left in the first half, and 4th down and 7 in that no man's land territory at the 41-yard line, but it appears that Warden will drop back to punt it, and he'll try and nail this one inside the 20 with Wood deep. And it's a fake! And the up back Cogswell going for the first down. He's got him more inside the 25-yard line.
Cogswell redeeming himself. Looked like he didn't come up with the reception on the previous play, and looks like Fairbanks is going to, again, on defense, be kept on the field. If you're Central, this is what you want right now. Keep the pressure on that defense, that undermanned roster. And Cogswell really just taking advantage there. Again, another of Central's offensive weapons.
And just when we said that Central's offense was finally off the field after a turnover, they come up with the trick play, and 1st down at the 26-yard line, 15 yards on the 4th down carry, and here's that end around to the wing back, and that's Jordan, who's been the tailback most of the night, and he gets a couple on 1st down.
That was a gutsy move, I have to say, previously with that fake punt. I didn't anticipate. I don't think anyone here anticipated it, but it was a great risk, and it looks like it paid off for them. Now it's just a matter of really running the clock out so far in this half, but you want to keep the offensive going. I think it's when you're ending the first half or ending the game, you want to keep scoring more points. Why let up right now in the game? keep the pressure on that defense.
2nd and 7. In that wingback offense again, and option play. Warden looking for the pitch, and Warden will keep this one to the 20. And he is knocked down on the play by Brady Monroe. And again, all 3 timeouts remaining for Westerville Central, I should say, with 2:10 remaining in the first half.
We should be able to get another look at that. As you can see here, Warden scrambling to his left. Didn't really look to take another shot down the field, but he'll decide to take himself, and a couple good hits there, you have to say, from number 32. Looks like that's Brady Monroe hooking up with a hit.
3rd and 3 at the 20, and the handoff to Pepper, and he's been good for that all night. First down at the 15 with 1:40, and that stops the clock to move the chains.
Well, Pepper's been the man to move it down the field as far as the running game goes, I'd have to say. Him and Jordan, even though Jordan really hasn't done so much, I'd say, for the past quarter or so. But Pepper, every time they give him the ball, he has been able to move it up the field for the most part.
First down, and the Warhawks with another trip into the red zone. Looking for more, up 17-0, and this is Brown. Nice hole inside the 5, down to the 1. Didn't quite get it, but he will have the first down at 1:24 to go in the first half.
Well, that's what you want to see. It looks like there is a marker down on the field, possibly. No penalty has been signaled.
And we will check that penalty. It's coming back.
Let's get another look at it right here, possibly holding. But again, another very good run for Central.
It is indeed going to be holding against Central, so instead of 1st and goal at the 1, it will be first down, and the ball will be marked off with the penalty at the 26-yard line. So a big loss with 1:24 to go in this half.
Nonetheless, you know, you see Westerville Central's offense so far in this game. This is pretty much within striking distance for them. It's been those ticky-tack fouls that really not been able to capitalize more often than they have been given the ability to. But we'll see if they run any similar plays as they've done before to move them down the field.
And fake, here comes that end around flip to Overton. They had it bottled up, but he's got some moves. Overton still on his feet inside the 20-yard line. Tell you, this guy is tough to bring down.
And he's been the man they've been given to on most of those pitch outs. You know, he starts on the left, and as he's moved up the field, he's crossed to his right on that last play, shaking off his defenders, and he's been the guy who's going to get them down the field. And we'll be able to get another look of it here on the replay. And again, ball flipped to Overton, makes a cut to the right, brings the ball up the field, shakes off a couple defenders. Really a slippery offensive player.
And Warden is bottled up for no gain, and the Westerville Central bench wanting a face mask. And we have a timeout for Central with 27.2 seconds left, but it appeared, Jason, that there was a clear face mask on that.
I agree. Now, why that has not been called, I'm not exactly sure. But anyone can see here that was a very blatant face mask.
27 seconds left in the first half, as you can see, 17-0. And with 3rd down and 13 coming up, this is a big 3rd down play for Fairbanks, because you'd think here they at least want to, at the worst case scenario, hold them to a field goal and take a 20-point deficit into the locker room at halftime.
Well, if you think about that, do they even really want that to happen? I mean, as you said, that is a worst-case scenario, but if I'm Fairbanks, I'm thinking stop them at all costs. You do not want to be walking to your locker room down 20-0, going to the second half, and you're not even going to get the ball back.
27 seconds left. First half, 17-0. 3 turnovers for Fairbanks and 3 scores by the Warhawks from Westerville Central. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Now the 4th turnover for Fairbanks, and Central looking to capitalize on a 3rd and 13 play. And Warden going up top to the end zone. Incomplete. He wanted to go to Reed Preeser, number 26, but great coverage on the play by Ryan Green, it appears.
Well, Ryan Green put forth a huge effort. That ball was almost pretty much in Preeser's hands. He went up for it and couldn't pull it down, but much credit to Fairbanks defense. We have 20 seconds remaining. It's 4th and long, so again, it might turn out to be that worst case scenario of going down 20-0. Looks like they'll bring the kicking unit onto the field.
35-yard attempt for Hastings. He's already hit from 22 tonight. And offsides, as that will blow this play dead, and we'll have to see if they came across clean or if one of the central linemen enticed.
Looks like it was Jeff Wood to be one of those players to cross the line of scrimmage prematurely. We'll get the call.
And it is indeed offsides against the Panthers. Another costly penalty, and we've seen several penalties tonight on special teams.
Yeah, special teams has been both, what's helped Fairbanks in this game and really has been the bane of why they haven't been able to put any points on the board.
But
of course, penalties costing them on pretty much every side of the ball so far.
Now from 31, the kick is up, and it is good, but there's a flag down as one of the Fairbanks players came in and collided with Hastings, but Hastings fell down on the kick, and now the decision is up to the Westerville Central staff. Do they take the points off the board?
I think you just leave them go. What else are you going to try and do? Looks like more of a baseball slide to get that ball through the uprights, but it worked.
And I think it might have only been the 5-yard variety, so it wouldn't have been a first down anyway, it appears, as they are checking the signal. Kyle Warden is one of the captains, and he's talking it over with the man in the white hat, and it appears that they will take the points. 20-0, Westerville Central leading, a team that only scored 11 points per game coming in, given up 37, and so far it's been a reverse in this first half tonight.
This has not been the same team.
And, Jason, there has to be something said for playing games against powerful teams like Amanda Clear Creek and Big Walnut and other teams like Miami Trace and Zanesville, more powerful teams that get you prepped, so when you get to this kind of game, that you've played some tough teams and you circle this one, as we said in the open, as a winnable game.
I agree. It's not exactly Fairbanks is a real powerhouse in the division. We're going to have another look at that kick. But as you're mentioning, playing those tougher teams that Westerville Central's had, it's really been more of a learning experience to look back on those games and be able to really ready them, if not for this year. We'll get another look at the kick. And it's looks like that was number 4 from Fairbanks, Chris Albanese, roughing the kicker after the play.
And, they're going to assess this, the 15-yarder, on the kickoff. Interesting. He came flying in. It looked like from that replay he came into the holder, Kyle Warden, on the play. Maybe that's what the penalty is because, as you correctly pointed out, that Hastings, the kicker, fell down, and there's not much really that Albanese could do in his defense.
Well, that's true. Looks like he had his hands going up for the ball, and instead he got the kicker instead. Not intentional, of course. So you really can't blame Fairbanks for that penalty.
But nonetheless, 15-yard penalty, and they are kicking off in Fairbanks territory at the 45, and with 15 seconds left, barring a big return, you'd think that Fairbanks would just want to lick their wounds and take it to the locker room. Wood at the 1, looking for something. Across the 25, still on his feet. Wood with another nice move. Breaks another tackle, still on his feet, to the 34-yard line with 1 second left in the first half.
A very interesting return there from Jeff Wood. The only knock against that, I'd have to say, is you now leave your team virtually no time left on the clock to get something down the field. But nonetheless, you see some good athleticism from a very good player.
At the 34-yard line, a 33-yard return on that kick, and a very athletic return, as we saw, by Mr. Wood. And we'll see here what the Panthers elect to do, if they just want to run this clock out or if they do want to take a shot at it.
I'd say take a shot. Why not? You're down 20-0. You're not going to get the ball back, for a while now. You do your best that you can right now with this one chance you've got.
And what should be the final play of the first half. And Phelps will put it up, and he will go downfield, and the pass is incomplete, but a flag is down. Warden hit him as he was coming into the pattern, and that will give the Panthers a free play at the end of the first half.
We've got one. Well, first of all, you have to commend Kyle Ward. You know, not only has he been able to lead this team on offense, but that was a huge hit. I mean, really, just coming off the backside to really take that completion away from Fairbanks. And we have a flag on the field.
And it's going to be pass interference, and of course, the half cannot end on a defensive penalty, so Fairbanks will get another shot from the 49-yard line, and we'll see if Phelps has the arm strength to try and get one far downfield and maybe try and get a little hook and lateral action, perhaps.
Looks like they've been given a gift here from the Central defense, and Central really hasn't been all that good so far either. They've chalked up a number of penalties too, so we'll see what Fairbanks can do here with no time left on the clock.
Free play at the end of the first half. And the snap is fumbled. It's bobbled all the way, and Phelps will just wisely eat it before he is belted by Chris Logan in an appropriate end to an all-Central first half. The first ever homecoming game for the Westerville Central Warhawks, and it's been a first half to remember. Our score at the half, the Warhawks 20, the Fairbanks Panthers nothing, here on the WOCC TV3 Game of the Week.
Warden. You also look at players like Jordan, Brown, Overton, and Pepper. So really, you don't want to take too much away from those players because collectively they've been able to do quite a bit. Even though it's been a little bit here, a little bit there, they've been able to put enough together from each one of those players to get 20 points on the board. And right now, I'd say if they're really refreshed coming out of this half, you know, it's your homecoming game, you want to play your hardest as the year winds down, I wouldn't be surprised to really make a good attack for the end zone here to start off the half.
They will get the ball to start the second half, and this will be the first time that Fairbanks has kicked off tonight. And it will be number 32, Brady Monroe, will do the, number 18, Jason Vola, my correction on that one, who will do the kicking duties, as Houston Brown stands back deep. And it's a line drive kick. At the 12-yard line, it's the other up man across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and a fumble, and the ball is loose, and I think Fairbanks got this one, as that was Reed Pracer, and no signal yet.
Looks like we have a little bit of a pile-on here on the field, just waiting for them to pick apart the pieces, see who came up with the ball, but I would say Fairbanks probably has come up with it.
No, I think Central just barely got it back.
Looks like they caught a break there.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Jason. That was Steven Scott, number 40, who made the recovery, and a huge opportunity in the start of the second half gone away.
Looks like we'll get another look at that play. It was Reed coming up with the returns you can see here. It looks like he's going to have another good run, and then he's the one who actually coughs up the ball. And just fortunately happened to fall to the hands of another one of his own teammates.
Seth Eichhoff with the hit for Fairbanks that caused the fumble. First down, and a great stop on the running back Jordan, and that was number 44, Lance Grimes, amongst others on the stop. And a big defensive series, as you mentioned, Jason, out of the chute.
Well, Fairbanks really, they've got to start executing more on defense right now. And of course, you know, like as any other game here in high school, you want to keep your penalties down. If you let small penalties, it's one thing to have, you know, a big rare one, you know, you make an accidental face mask or pass interference, but just little things like offsides and holding get you. That's not what's going to win your ball games.
Loss of 2, second down, actually second and 13. Here's the rollout. Warden, and he can do this. He's got a great block. He's got a lot of room. The first down to midfield. Kyle Warden, he has shown us a lot of athleticism running option out of the wing T set.
It looks like Warden's rushed for more yards in this game than anyone else has so far in his team. And that's what you really want, a multi-talented quarterback that can do things, many facets from that offense. We're going to get another look at it. As you can see, Warden scrambles to his right as he moves up the field, keeps that ball tucked in his arm away from the defenders. And he really gets rocked there from behind by number 4 from Fairbanks, Chris Albanese. But much credit to Warden being able to hold on to the ball.
First down, the inside handoff to Pepper, and the ball is loose, and it is Fairbanks' ball. Recovered by number 10, Kyle Burns. The second fumble in 3 plays to start the second half, and this one is recovered by the Panthers, their first takeaway of the game, and it's a big one.
Another big question is for Fairbanks. Now you've been given this opportunity, the ball is back in your hands. Now the thing is you have to make something happen. You've prevented, in my opinion, a huge disaster from happening by having Central, who's done so much on offense in this game, get another score right off the bat in the second half, excuse me, which has not happened. Now let's see what they can do here on offense.
Phelps at quarterback. He hurt his knee late in the first half. We'll see how healthy he is in this one. And Wood doesn't get much there. Maybe half a yard on the surge as J.D. Pazula, number 7, on the tackle.
Seeing that Phelps has had that knee tweaked so far, his leg's probably, I wouldn't say injured, but he's probably not at 100% right now. I would not see him scrambling so much in and out of the pocket as we saw him doing so much in the first half. Out of necessity more than anything else.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. That the protection's not been there for him in this first half like it was for Warden. Here's that toss play, and Wood stays on his feet, rolling, and he's still moving, and he gains about 3 yards. But even in a 3-yard gain, we are seeing Jeff Wood with some great athleticism and balance.
Look, see, he was moving to his left to start off on that run. He was able to spin his way out of the defender, actually cut his way behind the quarterback, Phelps, and try to at least get some yards down the field. And Phelps, at the very end of that play, he got a very decent block there. So it's good to see, even though he's not 100%, he's still giving all that he can for Fairbanks.
3rd down and 8 at the 47. Opening drive for Fairbanks after the turnover here in the second half.
It's movement from Central again.
They're showing a lot of blitzing in the first half, and they continue to. Play action. Now Phelps under duress, and he will go down, and so will a penalty marker at the 41 as he is sacked by John Schneider, and we'll check the penalty, and it's holding against the Panthers, and most likely this one will be declined.
Well, Phelps, right now he took that strong hit. He's able to stamp and walk in his own power, so maybe that leg's better off. But again, as we mentioned before, it's those penalties coming back to hurt them.
And this one, though, will be declined as we get another look at the sack.
Well, Phelps takes a snap right here. And you don't get a good look of the penalty on Fairbanks in that play, but you do get a good look at the strong defensive play of Central.
Houston Brown back deep as Sean Conley back for another punt, his 3rd of the night. And the inability to take over or take the turnover into the end zone. And we have another flag coming in, and this one looks like it's some sort of procedure penalty.
Might be some kind of, like you said, a procedure penalty. And sometimes, even though you see some movement, it's not all entirely the defensive fault. We're going to get a look here.
I think they are gonna call this one for Central for illegal substitution. They had too many men on the field.
I wonder how sometimes a penalty like that can happen. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, perhaps not really keeping your head in the game.
Perhaps the situation where you might be thinking that the offense is going to go for it down 20 points and some confusion within the personnel, but only a 5-yard penalty. Bad snap. Conley does a nice job to get it and gets an excellent kick at the 20. Brown dodges a man. Brown stays on his feet and is flung down to the 26-yard line by number 18, Jason Valla, and number 4, Chris Albanese. So the Central defense, after giving the ball away for the first time tonight, does a great job to get the 3 and out.
Well, they get the ball back, and Conley for Fairbanks, he really received a high snap off the get-go, and just the very fact he's able to put the ball into the air, get a nice kickoff, that's a little bit of credit to him. So it's not great position right now for Central, but then again, nothing we haven't seen before in the game. They've been able to move down the field.
6-yard return, first down at the 26 for Central. And the delay handoff, and a nice move, and a first down at the 40-yard line. Ron Jordan, as we've seen the tailbacks, Jordan and Brown, as well as the wingback Overton, get a lot of yardage.
Now, the key part of that play of Jordan was that he's able to break through the hole on the left side of the line, and he'll get a good block, as we might be able to see here on the replay. But again, he's been able to make something happen. You can see here, he rolls out to his left, and there's that good block. He's able to cut back to the left again and get his way down the field. That's just really good athleticism, really waiting for the block to happen in front of you and then making a good decision.
First and 10 at the 41. And it will be Jordan again, and he'll try and stretch this one. And he stays on his feet, and a flag goes down. We may have a face mask there as he gets out near the first down at midfield.
Looks like a face mask, but Jordan able to keep his arms up and keep himself from going down. It looks like it was a very similar play as we saw before, except they just flipped it around to the right side.
And it will be the 15-yard variety against Albany's. And that will give them the automatic first down and the official, the man in the white hat, does not have a clue where this penalty's going.
Now it looks like they're calling it against Central.
And look, we can
We'll
get
another
very
look
good
at that run for Jordan.
And
Looks like maybe he was the one with the face mask after all.
That had to have been. It looked like maybe Albany's got the face mask, but on that replay, Albany's just got the back of Jordan's helmet, and that has to be what the call is, as you can stiff arm with the hand extended out, but he grabbed it and clenched the face mask, and as a result, a costly 15-yard penalty on what would have been at least second down and inches, maybe a first down. So instead, first and 22 with the penalty, 15 from the spot.
That's a very good call by officiating, but if you're Jordan, you got to just figure, I'm moving the ball down the field, I'm just going to keep my head down and take the hit, and he obviously decided not to do that. It looks like it cost them.
At the 29, Warden rolling on the option. He'll keep it himself. He's got a lot of room. First down at the 45-yard line. Kyle Warden has been just a terror tonight for this Fairbanks defense.
I'll tell you something. You have to name one catalyst for this Central offense. It's got to be Kyle Ward. Yes, he hasn't been able to throw the ball, really air it out, get to a lot of receivers, but really, if he's under pressure, he's been the one that's been able to roll out and get the ball down the field. Easily, he's probably got more rushing yards than anyone on Central right now. But if they need someone to get the ball down the field, it looks like he's been able to one to take it from himself.
At the 44, first down. 8:36 left third quarter, 20-0. Central leading, and this will be Jordan on the carry, and he gets the first down and more. There's that stiff arm again inside the 30, and he got about 18 more yards on a first down carry, and I think, Jason, already we're starting to see those signs of fatigue.
I think so. That Fairbanks defense, as we mentioned, out in the field for so long in the first half and really starting to wear down. It looks like Jordan's discovered the stiff arm. As we can see here, he makes a cut. There's one stiff arm right there. There's another one, and we're going to see a third one. Probably looking to get called for a face mask, and it's really able to push the ball down the field. So Jordan's really been able to step it up here in the second half, really keep the offense going for Central.
18 yards on the carry, and here's the fullback Pepper down to the 20-yard line. He gets about 6 there, but let's go back a play to those 3 stiff arms that we were talking about. That's something you don't see much, and you don't see taught much in football today, but that's something that he's been doing an effective job of, and we have a very late flag coming in at the end of this one.
Looks like it's probably going to go out to Fairbanks, perhaps.
And they're going to call the unsportsmanlike conduct foul as just sheer frustration.
I think that's definitely what that call is. It's a habit of not a habit, but so much of just an event that you don't keep your emotions in check in the game. I can understand your frustration if you're in this situation, such as a player for Fairbanks, but really the best thing to do is to just keep your head down, keep your head in the game, and just go on with it. You know, you're going to get another chance. Just keep yourself in the game. Don't let your emotions overtake yourself.
And that will mark the penalty, half the distance to the goal line, and it will be first down, and we'll see where this ball is spotted at the 12 with the penalty. So first down and 10 for the Warhawks, up 20-0 and looking for more with 8:10 left in this third quarter.
Within the red zone, I think it's safe to say that Central smells blood.
And Jordan will be the deep back. On first down, he gets the option pitch coming near side, and he's still on his feet inside the 5 to the 4-yard line, and some more late contact as we have an injured Warhawk down, and that looks to be the fullback, Chad Pepper, number 42, who was hurt on that last play.
We'll give credit to Jordan for being able to stay on his feet. And granted, he wasn't given the greatest of pitch outs, but he's able to get the ball in his hands and do something with it. But as you mentioned, we do have the player down the field. That is Chad Pepper, and he is not looking to be getting up.
And it looks like they're
we
checking
have some trainers on the field now.
Left leg. Hard to tell exactly what it is that they're looking at. It looks like his left knee. And we've seen a couple guys go down on both sides tonight. Obviously, Phelps, the quarterback for Fairbanks, went down and came back, and as we see both teams again on a knee, and you just hope for nothing serious as he is at least sitting up.
This would be a huge problem for Central if he doesn't come back in this game. As you can see, Jordan really staying on his feet, getting his head down, pushing for those extra yards.
And it looked like there were a couple of late shots in on that last play for sure.
Really, probably out of the referee's eyes, they didn't see it, and just right now it's a point where the emotions are kind of running high. You're frustrated, and if you're Central, you don't want that. But it looks like Pepper's up. He was being assisted to his feet, but looks like he's going to try and tough it out and get his way off the field. And at least you could say, hopefully that it's not any worse.
Yeah, he's not putting a lot of weight on that, so hopefully the best for Peppers. He's a 5'8", 185 sophomore. Again, as we mentioned, all freshmen and sophomores here at Westerville Central because of these selection processes within Westerville South and North. So a very young, inexperienced team, but they're getting some playing time and getting very good experience quickly as we have a timeout that's being called by Fairbanks defensively. And this might be one of those timeouts where Coach Carlton Cotner, the head coach for the Panthers, is just trying to settle his troops down.
Settle his troops down, I'd say that, and really maybe cool down some of the Central offense. They're really so close on the, it looks like they're on the 4-yard line. And of course, all it takes is, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from another touchdown. I think the more you can slow down Central's offense, the more you have a chance to really regroup yourself and really figure out what you're going to do now on defense. You know that they can take the ball, that Warren can take the ball himself into the end zone. You know they've got Ron Jordan, who's had some really big runs so far in the second half. So they've got to find out something to do. So far, the passing hasn't been really big for Central. But if I'm Fairbanks, I've just got to be looking out for a run or some kind of a sneak play.
That's not really the strength of the offense is the passing game. As we've mentioned, it's more of a run-based attack, and we've seen that tonight. 7:48 to go. As you can see here left in the third quarter, 20-0 in favor of Westerville Central. And the score here, you hate to say it would be devastating, but it would be, considering that this Fairbanks team is not built to come from behind.
Well, that's definitely truthful, and Fairbanks not being able to do very much on offense so far here in the second half. A touchdown here could really might be able to break this game open and really put it out of their reach. You don't really want to determine that so early in the second half.
First and goal at the 4, handoff, and walking into the end zone for the touchdown is Ron Jordan, and he gets in for his first touchdown of the night, and the lead is up to 26-0, and the Westerville Central Warhawks, a winner 35-6 2 weeks ago, are putting together another fine effort here tonight in search of their first ever home victory.
Well, yes, I think the coach for Westerville Central's got to be very proud of how his players are doing. As you can see here, Jordan coming up the left side, just shakes off that defender, dives to the end zone. It's elementary for him right now, and really, Fairbanks probably should have seen that coming.
It looked like a bit of a fake option and a delay handoff on that, as we see the swinging gate extra point, something seen more of in the high school level, very unusual, obviously, in the college game, and in the pros, obviously, it's non-existent. Hastings for another extra point, and this one is through, and it's 27-0, and all of a sudden now, Jason, down 4 scores, the run game has been taken out.
I think it has been taken out of the game. Right now, Fairbanks, I think if you're Fairbanks, you're thinking, well, let's see, my quarterback's really not all 100%. He's been able to do a lot, both when he has to hand the ball off, get a couple of nice blocks in there. But, Greg Phelps has got to be thinking, can I just throw the ball sometime, air the ball down the field? Right now, the running game has been non-existent. Yes, Jeff Wood's been doing a good job. Unfortunately, it's been, for the wrong side of the ball. So I'm sure he's got to be thinking, I'm just going to take it easy on my legs, and please just let me throw the ball down the field. Let something happen.
And they've got to spread it out when you're down 27 points, and it gets back again to that conditioning factor. Will they have enough stamina left to try and make this sort of comeback? And we saw them really miss the opportunities tonight have been the key for both these teams. 4 turnovers for Fairbanks, 20 points for Central. 1 turnover for Central, Fairbanks has not scored. And in this game, and you hate to keep harping on it, but at every single level of football imaginable, every coach will tell you, You lose the turnover battle, 90% of the time you're going to lose the game.
Exactly, and I don't want to say it's been a lack of fundamentals. I think it's just more of impatience on the part of Fairbanks, and really, they've been given some gift opportunities, not as many as they've been given Central. But when you have an opportunity given to you, you have to take it slow, you have to take it easy. Don't rush yourself, especially when you're so early in a quarter and a half.
Hastings kick, and this one will try and kick away from Wood, but he'll have to field it on the bounce at the 10. Wood not much at the 30-yard line, stays on his feet, but a flag goes down, a couple of them, and this one will get called back as it's in the neighborhood of holding and block in the back. And just as we were talking about those mistakes, another one against the Fairbanks Panthers, and that one will put them back probably inside their own 10.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we know what Fairbanks is going to be running through their reps and their practices, coming down into this final game for next week. Regardless of where you're at in the season, you still don't want to have to making silly mistakes. It's so far late in the season.
But give credit, too, I think, to Westerville Central with their game plan. And
yes,
we saw it last week in the NFL with Dante Hall and the Kansas City Chiefs, what the Packers did, kicking that squib kick to the sidelines away from the dangerous return man. And if you can place it well, one, it blows up the opportunity for a good return. And two, when you do get that opportunity, a lot of times you're going to have those holding penalties or those blocks in the back, as would be the case here. And it will set the Panthers back at about the 10-yard line.
Sometimes that's a better special teams opportunity, a better special teams play than really just making a solid hit, just to keep the runner from getting further down the field, because now you let Fairbanks or the receiving team, whoever it may be, make their own mistakes.
First down at the 10, down 27-0. Fairbanks has to get something, and something quickly. Phelps on first down, and he will hand to Wood for about 5 to the 15-yard line. And we're going to see Fairbanks go without a huddle.
I've noticed something about Jeff Wood. He does have good quickness. You see, he did have a good hole on the right side. He got through it, but his leg just got caught up by one of the Westerville Central defenders and just really couldn't break free of that, which is probably what only led to getting a couple yards down the field as compared to him breaking it wide open.
Well, Fairbanks took a lot more time in the huddle than we would think, down 27 points on second down. Phelps, and he will give it again to Wood, and staying on his feet near the first down, maybe about a yard shy, and clock will stop, and we may see a measurement on this.
I think it's going to be very close to a first down. I think if that's the case, you're going to get a huge sigh of relief from Fairbanks. All the players on the team just saying, finally. Looks like it's going to be very close. Might not be enough.
Now, I don't even think they're going to measure this one, Jason. I think they are going to say he's short by about the nose of the football. Third down and inches, and expect a sneak in this situation.
More blitzing coming from Central.
Phelps under center, and he will give it to the fullback through, and that's Schaefer for the first down to the 22-yard line. But you hate to criticize the coaching staff, but down 27 points with a quarter and a half to go, common wisdom says you got to start going to the air.
I think so, and you don't have to necessarily do it through a lot of long bombs. You don't have to take it to the air that much. Dink and dunk passes here and there, left and right, change things up. Because if you're going to keep trying to run the ball up the middle and you're not breaking free, if it didn't work in the first quarter, it's not going to work in the fourth quarter, or in this case, the third. So I think you really have to start finding the way of making your own opportunities, manufacturing yardage. At
the 23, the toss sweep to Wood, and he's got a big hole, first down into Westerville Central territory down the sidelines, and he is going to be tripped up inside the 20-yard line.
That was a fabulous run there by Wood. He was practically home free.
Ross Priester saves the touchdown, but not before a huge gain on that play of 61 yards and a first down at the 15-yard line as Priester makes the stop. But as you said, great run.
A great run. You see, he busts out wide open to the left side, a sweet play, and he's gone more or less. 32 could have made a block. It looks like it was number 11 from Central. That would be Ross Priester coming up with the huge hit, despite getting the huge yards. It really prevented a touchdown from happening.
Shoestring tackle in the red zone. Handoff, Schaefer, the fullback, inside the 10, barreling forward for the first down, or very close to it. Depend on the spot.
Looks like we're seeing a second win from Fairbanks. That huge run could really be what gets the momentum going.
9 yards on the first down carry for Schaefer, the fullback, who's getting a little more in spot to kind of give Wood the blow. 5:22 in the clock running, third quarter, 27-0 in favor of Westerville Central. And I think the officials are going to want to have this one measured, as that catches a break for Westerville Central, as they were late getting some people out off the field and into the huddle.
Exactly. You don't want to have another call right now of having so many men on the field or an illegal substitution. And I think Central right now, they just want to have a chance to catch their breath and say, hey, we've just had a huge run on ourselves, and really, we want to get another chance to hold this team. We don't want to let something like that get in our way.
First and goal for Fairbanks at the 5. And a glorious opportunity for the Panthers to get off the schneid. And the receivers will go in the split set, as Esterline is the one receiver alongside of Monroe.
Same formation as that huge run 2 plays ago.
And they'll try Wood on the sweep, and he'll bounce it outside for maybe half a yard. But other than the big run, Jason, we're seeing that Westerville Central has been keying on those lead plays.
Well, I think Central's realized that, I think that now they have some momentum going for themselves. We have to step it up, get a little more pressure on our defensive line and on their offensive line to make sure they can't create any holes, to make sure no more huge runs happen, because we've seen, even though Wood hasn't done very much in this game, he still has the ability to make a huge run happen.
Second and goal at the 5, no gain. Here's the pitch out. Wood running right, and he'll get maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And while we're not up here as coaches, we're not paid to be the coaches, but I've never understood running the toss sweep down in on the goal line.
I can never understand that either. I think that was just a case of saying, Wood's done a couple decent things for us so far in the second half. Let's give him another shot. But, as we mentioned before, the run game's been, next to nothing except for a couple big runs. But, as soon as we mentioned that, a huge play happens on the field. But, I still think that the best thing for Fairbanks would be to mix it up a little bit more. Okay, you're going to get the nice big runs. Now let's try and air the ball a little bit. Do a little short pass to the tight end, maybe a screen or something.
And we'll see what they go here on third and goal at the 5. They stay in that same formation as Central shows the blitz, and Phelps will have to roll out to the end zone.
It's going to be close.
Incomplete.
Wow.
That was a great piece of defensive pass coverage by number 83, Derek Meyer, one of the backup defensive backs, as he was right there. Esterline, the intended receiver, and it's 4th down, and no question about this, it's 4-down territory.
I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen that close of a touchdown being stopped. The ball was in his hands practically. But I think if you're Fairbanks right now, you gotta say, let's just put the ball in here. We've had enough of this. Let's just get one touchdown on the board.
4th and goal at the 5. Fairbanks trying to get on the board, down 27-0 late in the third quarter.
Some blitzing coming from Central, looks like it.
And here comes the pitch play, and Wood will not get it.
Stopped.
Great defense on 4 plays by the Central defense. Some questionable play calling, but nonetheless give Central their due. They will take over on downs.
I think you look at this game right now and you see that Central really has had a lot of command. If they've let anything slip up, they've not let it bother them for that long. They've come up with the huge defensive plays like they did in the second quarter and like how they have here in the third quarter. Really, any Fairbanks offense that has been so far in this game has been absolutely snuffed by Central.
And every opportunity they've had has been quashed by either a penalty, a turnover, in this case, a turnover on downs. First down at the 2 with 3:36 left in the third quarter. And Central will try and wedge the ball out. There's the deep back, and that Houston Brown for maybe a yard to about the 3. And Monroe and Jeff Wood will make the tackle about a yard at the most. Officially no gain, 2nd down and 10. Call it a short 10 as we march down to 3 minutes in the third quarter. And you just get the feeling, Jason, on that opposite sidelines that the air's been sucked out of the Fairbanks contingent.
I think so. I look across me, across the other sideline. The fans, the ones that have shown up to this game, they're still here, and that's what you want to see.
Ward, dangerous play out of his own end zone, but he gets the first down and more out to the 16-yard line. And that's the advantage of having such a great running quarterback.
and he's been able to move the ball down the field and smart enough to get it out of bounds, get the clock stopped, and get yourself another chance to really make something big happen on offense.
And we're going to take another look at this one, and we've seen the ability of the front line not only to move straight up, but to be able to move outside with the blocking.
That's really the advantage has been for Warden's running game, is that he hasn't had to go up the middle with the ball, but anytime he feels the need to move left or right, he takes it and he runs it. And that's some very good block from an offensive line.
Houston Brown on first down to the 22, a gain of about 4. That last game, by the way, went for 17 and the first down. Brown gaining 4 on first down. At this point, Jason, that's what you're looking for.
You do. You're right. That is the kind of play that you're looking for. We now have 2nd and 6 to go. I think Central North is going to really try and evaluate what they're going to do here based on this play.
2nd down and 6. This is Brown staying on his feet to the 29, and he's very close to another first down.
Might not be enough, but could be very, very close.
I think the officials gave him a pretty good spot on that one, as it appeared he might have been a half-yard shy, but he gives him forward progress enough that they will at least measure this one. And now we're just going to see some old-school smash-mouth football the rest of the way from Central.
I think so. They're really going to start ramming the ball down Fairbanks' throats. You know, we've seen pretty much anyone and everyone step on this offense. You know, right now it's been Brown. It's going to be very close, and they're going to give him the first down. First down for Central. Wow.
By not even the nose of the football, by maybe half a chain link at best. But a first down, and that moves the chains, and that will give them a chance to move the clock even more as we come down to the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. 27-0.
I think Fairbanks defense has to be exhausted at this point. They have been out in the field for way too long, and unfortunately, when you're that tired, when you're that exhausted, you just can't make things happen. You have to hope for the best. There's some kind of a slip in the offense, which there really has been nothing. No offensive penalties whatsoever, no bad tosses, no fumbles.
And a timeout call by Kyle Warden and Westerville Central with 2:01 left in the third quarter, and the score 27-0 in favor of Westerville Central. And in the first half, we saw Fairbanks offense move the ball, but being unable to score. In the second half, we saw the one big run by Wood, but other than that, it's been nothing. And when you move down and you fail to capitalize on your opportunities, as we said coming out at halftime, that's going to be something that hurts you almost all the time.
Not just, you know, as far as the numbers game goes, but I think in a mental state as well, because if you can't score off that big opportunity, it really just gets you back into that, you know, you take a big sigh of exasperation. You got to be thinking, well, here we go again. It's the first half all over again.
Now pause for first down at the 29 after the timeout with 2:01 to go in the third quarter.
For those of you just tuning in, this is WOCC TV3, your football game of the week.
And the first down, Kyle Warden, he's going to roll out. He loses the ball, but he got it back, and it won't matter. The officials will say down by contact, and he lost 9, but did the smart thing of just tucking it under and not losing the football.
That's just really a very desperation play right there by Warden. But again, not doing anything we haven't seen before, taking the ball for himself.
And he's been able to escape that backside pressure all night.
Yeah, it seems like when the pressure comes one way, all he has to do is just run the other, and he's been able to get at least one blocker that's been able to help move down the field. He's been their best running back the whole game.
2nd and 19 at the 20, and they roll him out on that controlled scramble, and he'll loft one up. He's got a man incomplete, intended for Cogswell, and Cogswell caught really the only deep throw we've seen tonight from Kyle Warden.
Which really makes sense why he would go back to Cogswell if he was going to try and do it again. Unfortunately, what we've seen with Warden is that when he does decide to air out the ball, there's no question that he has an arm. He has to be able to get the ball downfield as far as yardage goes. The problem is he just hasn't been able to get into any of his receivers' hands.
And we've seen some nice coverage downfield tonight, though, by the Fairbanks secondary.
Can't take anything away from them. That is true.
3rd down and 19 with a minute 14 left in this third quarter. And They will give that end-around play. Here comes Overton across the 25. He's got a hole. He's got the first down and more. He could be gone. One man to beat, and he will take it down inside the 20-yard line. What a run by the wingback, Tyler Overton. He has one touchdown tonight, and he came within inches of taking his second to the house.
It was Justin Esterling who came up with the desperation hit at the very end there. Overton was pretty much all but gone on that play. There was no one touching him. He had three white shirts behind him, and even though he couldn't quite shake all of them off, you got to give so much credit to him for being able to break wide open on that play.
And they've run that play three times tonight. We've seen the fake pitch and the reverse option to the wingback.
Another look at it again. And that's a great speed, great acceleration. He's able to really take off once he found the hole. And he was pretty much gone. Maybe the only mistake he had was just turning around looking behind him.
63 yards on the gain for Overton. Here's that rollout. Warren will keep it on the option. Not much there, maybe two. Stopped on the play by Wood. But this has just got to be demoralizing for your Fairbanks.
Demoralizing for Fairbanks, but definitely moralizing for all of these fans here. You know, I look down in front of me. There's still everyone. The clock is running out. We are now down to 24 seconds left in the quarter. But everyone's still here. You know, it's a cold night out, but you got to give credit to these fans for Central. Still here, still supporting their team. And, you know, this is what you want to see. Good football. Have that home team come away in their first game here at home in weeks. Come away with a win.
2nd and 9, and the handoff to Brown, and he gets forward near the 10-yard line, as that will take us down to the end of the third quarter. And the Westerville Central Warhawks are 12 minutes away from their first home victory in school history. After 3, Westerville Central 27, Fairbanks nothing here on the WOCC TV3 game. Warhawks here in Westerville, Ohio, leading 27-0 over the Fairbanks Panthers. I'm Andy Kell, along with Jason Germaco, and again, we are just seeing a Westerville Central team that I just think is flat out more determined to win this game tonight.
I think they are, and I think they really have that kind of moral support right now behind them. You know, a couple times this game has kind of, you know, lagged on as so far as the offense being not so much stagnant, but just more of being impatient. Not even so much dormant, but you do see that when they do come up with a big play, everyone, their energy just rises.
3rd down and 5 at the 12 on the first play of the fourth quarter, and there's the play action, a little flip out. He's got his man Brown to the 5, touchdown, Houston Brown. So now the screen pass into the offense, and on the first play of the fourth quarter, the lead goes up to 33-0.
You know, that just might be, suffice to say, the nail in the coffin for Fairbanks. I think, you know, we're going to another look at that right here. Again, another beautiful screenplay, and just is able to scoot his way into the end zone. Good play for Houston Brown. Good run, good catch.
And the defense looked like they were all overloaded to that right side.
The right side, as you said, but there was no one covering him. That's a very good, excellent screenplay. That's exactly how they should be executed.
And
that's elementary.
And we will see a switch there as Warden lined up as the place kicker. Now he will settle into his holding position. And Hastings will kick the extra point. It's up 34-0 in favor of the Westerville Central Warhawks with 11:52 left in the game. And their only other win coming over winless Olentangy Liberty. And they're on their way here to their first win in front of the hometown fans. Just a tremendous all-around effort tonight.
You know, I think for Westerville Central, this win is going to mean a lot to them. You know, granted, their record has not been great. And yes, this is their first season. But, you know, to have your first home win here, you know, homecoming weekend, I think that really means a lot. It's going to be a very special win, you know, not just this year, but I think in years to come for this Westerville Central team. And we've seen their offense, when they can turn it on, they could really have something going. And I think if they can keep a lot of these players going for next year, even so much as next game, you could really build a strong program here.
And they have just been dominated primarily through a ground-oriented offense tonight, and that's scary when you see this kind of offense, and we hate to keep harping on the same things, but you want to go back to what we talked about, that brutal schedule that they played this year. They played Amanda Clear Creek, lost 64-6, lost 49-15 to Big Walnut, who's currently 8-0 and ranked number 1 in Region 10 of Division III. But those are the kind of tests that when you play a team like that, you say, okay, we've played so many good teams. Now we get one that's about on our playing field. We feel like we can beat them.
Exactly. I think when you come away from those losses from those big teams, you pick up on some things. What did we do wrong? What did they do right? You incorporate that with your own players and your own talent.
Hastings with another kickoff away from Wood. And this one will be fielded perfect at the 11-yard line. And Wood is flipped head over heels at the 27-yard line by number 54, Gary Humphreys. And that's been kind of the night in a nutshell. That ball just 9-iron stopped perfectly.
I think Wood's taking probably the hardest hits out of anyone in this game. Probably next to his own quarterback of Phelps. But, Wood's been there every time there's been a big play or a big hit for Fairbanks. And, really, you don't want to take too much away from Fairbanks. They've been very exhausted, and they do have a very deprived roster. And you think after having last week of having such a huge explosive offense that they might be able to carry something over. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened, but I think they're definitely going to learn their lesson from this week's game.
First down at the 34, and here's that pitch play to Wood. And Wood now not getting much, but making it happen on his own, and the late flag goes down in the area of either an offensive holding or maybe a face mask, as Wood has had to earn every single yard, and we see an injured man for Westerville Central down, and that is Bob Fresh, number 55.
I think Wood's definitely be able to take the team when he has been able to. We're going to see what the call is here. Could be on Fairbanks.
And we will get a look at it from the man in the white hat again. They call discussing it with number
talking over some of the North players right now.
Pasula, one of the defensive captains, and I think they might have gotten a block in the back there on Kyle Burns, and that's exactly
That's what it is.
And that one will set him back 10 yards, and that's the thing that's got to drive Carlton Cotner nuts in this game. It's one thing to lose to a team that may be on your part,
outplays you,
but they're not helping themselves with penalties and turnovers and missed opportunities against the team they felt going into tonight that they could beat.
And those penalties really, when you commit them on the offensive side of the ball, it makes it that much harder to move yourself down the field. Now, when you have a player like Wood, you should be able to do that.
First down, 16 after the penalty. Phelps, under all sorts of pressure now, lofts it up to Wood, and Wood nearly coughed that one up, and I think the side judge is going to say he was down as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and he was holding that ball out. I'm not sure he didn't want to lateral that thing.
I don't think he did, and of course we see again who's the man that comes up with the ball. It's been Wood. So I think that they've found a way that, okay, we can't quite run the ball up the field. Now we've got to use him in another way. And I don't think it's much of a secret right now that he's been the weapon for them. And as you said, I don't think that's really how they wanted to get rid of the ball, considering there's so much pressure on defense.
Second down and 9 at the 28. Phelps will finally go into the shotgun, and incomplete off of Phelps' hands. And Esterline nearly had that one off the ricochet, and he would have been off if he got that one.
Exactly. I don't think there was a defender by him. I think, when something like that happens, you just get a little bit frustrated with yourself. All you can really do is just say, okay, let's try not to have that happen again. Although Wood was quite wide open on the play, I think the ball just got lofted a little bit too much in the air for his taste, which is why he wasn't able to pull it down.
Third down and 10 at the 28. Phelps again using the shotgun. He's going to go up top, and this one's going to be picked off. At the 40-yard line, Bryant Cogswell, and he is going to take this all the way to the house. Touchdown Central, and the carnage continues as it is now 40-0, and there's still 10:33 to go in this game. And Jason, we can see the coaches to our right in the booth right next to us for Westerville Central celebrating that one. That's going to do it.
I think that is going to do it. That's going to be one that seals this victory here. I think, as you see the ball coming out of Phelps' hands, that ball was just wobbling in the air. It was like a wiffle ball practically. It wasn't a matter of if it was going to be picked off, but exactly who was going to pick off. But just to see Cogswell run it back all the way, I think really is a real demoralizer for Fairbanks. To not only lose the ball, but to have it just run right back on you.
That is the 5th turnover tonight for Fairbanks. And all of them.
More movement.
And this one's going to be against Fairbanks, it looks like. So it makes the kick for Hastings, as we'll take this opportunity to get a look at the touchdown, but the 26 points off of 5 turnovers.
Phelps in the shotgun has all the time in the world to make the throw. Doesn't leave his hands all that well. And there's Cogswell with the pick. Not only a nice pick, but able to get through all those defenders, and Phelps was the last guy to touch him, and of course he didn't look like he had much of a chance.
And another flag goes down. This one thrown along the near sidelines. As not even sure about this one.
I think though, from a standpoint of a fan, you gotta be thinking, considering the way the state of the game is right now, of course, nothing ever is really a foregone conclusion. But still, you're at a point now where if you're just calling fouls just for the sake of calling fouls, what's the point?
Extra point attempt by Hastings.
More movement.
And third time's a charm as he gets this one, and it goes through 41-0 in favor of the Warhawks. And on that last interception, you had it right that the ball was lobbed too, but it also looked like the receiver he wanted to go to on the post pattern fell down. But Phelps, in the second half, even though, you can make excuses, bottom line is he just has not looked on in the passing game all night.
He doesn't. Really, none of his passes really have had any kind of velocity or accuracy to them all night for Phelps. And it's really unfortunate because, I've watching him play this game, he really does try and do the best that he can for this offense. He sees that he's got, a couple weapons at best, and he realizes he has to step up his own game. So, you can't take that away from Phelps. But at the same point, you've got to be if that doesn't work out, you have to use a little bit better judgment in calling in what kind of passes you're going to throw, in what situations, and to who.
And the Central Warhawks 10:33 away from getting their second win on the season. Again, their first victory was over Olentangy Liberty by a 35-6 score, as they've been playing primarily Division 4, 5, 6 teams. Of course, their biggest opponent, both in terms of the division size and in terms of stature within the state, has been Big Walnut. Next week, these Warhawks will host Pickerington North, while Fairbanks has another tough test ahead of them as they go on the road to Troy Christian, a team in the playoff hunt as well.
And of course, that Fairbanks had me think, well, if that's our opponent down the road, why couldn't we just have just one victory tonight? But I think from this game, they will come away, a little bit more hardened and realize what they have to do to step up their offense.
And there must appear to have been some sort of penalty, some unsportsmanlike conduct activity against Fairbanks after the play, as Hastings will kick off again from the Fairbanks 45-yard line after a 15-yard penalty against Fairbanks. And the other thing you have to worry about, too, is for both sides, guys not doing anything stupid and getting tossed from this game.
Exactly, because looks like right now all the penalties are coming out of just sheer frustration.
And Hastings with a very short pooch, and he's going to use this one to ram it out of the end zone for the touchback, as Hastings has shown us a very strong leg tonight. And the Panthers take over on their own 20, first down and 10.
And again, field position has not been in Fairbanks' favor, so really being on the 20-yard line right now in the game has not been out of the norm. But, again, you look at the clock, you look at the score, 41-0, and I think right now you just want to make this game a little more respectable. You want your score to look a little more respectable. Of course, you never want to get shut out. So I think right now they're just going to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they pull a couple of trick plays, maybe a couple of strange reverses, just to do something to get the ball down the field, have nothing else to get in field goal range.
And Phelps will come into the game again as the quarterback. And
he's got to be exhausted, plain and simple.
Yeah, everybody on the team's got to be exhausted. And Phelps has got to be very gimpy as well.
Yeah, that leg I still don't think is 100%. We have not seen him scramble once, I don't think, since taking that hit. Maybe once or twice, but it was only out of necessity.
At the 20. And he will give on a counter play to Wood, and he's got a nice hole. And Wood fights for about 9 on first down as the stop is made by Stephen Scott. And for Fairbanks, a Division 6 school, a team that doesn't have a lot of players, as we mentioned, 26 at the high school level more than any other sport at any level. High school football is the one game where roster size does matter.
It does matter because, you're working with kids, and, you want to make sure you have enough fresh players in the game, and it doesn't even matter what division you're playing in. Roster size is important. I don't know really what you can attribute that to, but you got to give whoever is on that team, a lot of credit for playing as hard as they can.
On 2nd and 2, Phelps looking deep, and he's going to lob one up and nearly caught by Justin Esterline as Cogswell was roaming free for another pick opportunity, but he doesn't get it. 3rd down. But let's go back to that for a second, the whole roster size. Last year, we saw Walnut Ridge, a team with only 26 players themselves in Division II, advance through to the regional finals and upset a very good Brookhaven team, but Fairbanks just doesn't have it tonight.
Yeah, and I think when you have a small roster, like you mentioned, of only 26 men, you really attribute what you could do with that to your coaching. Because it's not saying that those players are not talented, but it's what you can do with them.
On 3rd down and short, Wood gets the 1st down to the 37-yard line. 9:34 left in the game as the clock will stop momentarily for the measurement. Or, excuse me, to move the chains, as that was obviously a 1st down at the 37, and the clock continues to run with
about 9.5 left in the game here.
1st down and 10 for the Fairbanks Panthers.
Man in motion.
As we see Esterline going in motion, putting a slot to the near side. Phelps with a nice play fake, going downfield. He's got a man wide open inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line as Lance Grimes, the tight end. And he's been the only one, Jason, tonight that we've seen produce numbers in the passing game.
Yes, and Grimes is a tight end, and you don't characteristically see a tight end go so far out of his range to be that far down the field. I was looking at him, before the ball was thrown. He had his hands up in the air. He wanted that reception. He got it.
35-yard line on 1st down in the hurry-up. Throwing downfield, wide open is Burns, and he makes the catch inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line.
Couldn't get himself out of bounds.
23 yards on the gain. The clock does stop momentarily to move the chains as Phelps took yet another shot, as it will be 1st down and another foray into the red zone for the Panther offense.
How's it going to affect Phelps for next week? He's already banged up now.
1st down, Phelps going to the air, quick out. He's got Wood inside the 10, about 7 yards on 1st down. And you hate to second guess the coaching, but you gotta wonder where this was down 20 and 27 to nothing.
Exactly. I think it's either one of two things. One, the passing's finally coming together. They finally start to experiment with some offensive passing plays, or maybe it's just that Central's defense is becoming just a little bit lax here at the end of the game. 2nd
down and 4 at the 5. Phelps will go under center, and he'll put a split receiver. A little confusion. See a little confusion there in the coverage, and Wood will get the delay, and he goes forward, and I think he's going to be short of the end zone. He will have the 1st down, however. It'll be 1st and goal just inside the Central 1-yard line with 7:58 to go in the game.
It's very close now for Central. Again, this is nothing new for them. Clock is running. Again, just outside of the end zone. You got to wonder, how are they going to get into the end zone? However, this is Fairbanks that's outside the end zone this time. First time they've been this close all game.
Handoff to Wood, and he goes through, and he's in for the touchdown.
Finally, they have something.
And so Fairbanks at least saves the indignity of a shutout as they get on the board at 7:32 to go in the game, and it's 41-6 with the extra point coming.
I think if you're Fairbanks, you just kind of got to wonder, well, why didn't those passing plays work before? But again, Wood just keeps barreling through. Again, you can see that helmet just underneath the chin of one of those North defenders, and that's some hard-nosed football right there. That's doing nothing more than just taking the ball and saying, here, let me take it to the end zone. I'll do this myself.
Sam Schaefer, the fullback, nails the extra point, and it's 41-7. But I think the one thing you have to say about that run is, if nothing else, at least Jeff Wood's not quitting even down 41 points.
And that's something you have to admire, is a player not giving up, especially when his team's down by so much.
And with so few guys, and a guy who's got to be exhausted, he's been taking a beating on both ends. He's been giving out a few beatings. He's taken quite a few of his own. As we mentioned again, Fairbanks will have Troy Christian, a team looking to get into the playoffs. Currently, they are a 6th-ranked team in their region, and remember, the top 8 get into the playoffs with the top 4 hosting first-round games, and those will begin in 2 weeks. And Westerville Central will host Pickerington North in the battle of the split schools, if you will, because Pickerington, of course, having to split their schools to go to 2, and Westerville South and North now being joined by Westerville Central.
Troy Christian, once they hear the final results of this game and really get an idea of what the exact numbers are, all they're going to look at, for Fairbanks for next week is just another win on the scoreboard. But, we've seen from Fairbanks, when you have players like Wood and you see his kind of a work ethic, it's those little things like that, once you start piecing them together, sometimes, it doesn't make that W appear so clearly on the schedule.
And the kickoff will come from Jason Valla, and we'll see if they go on sides, as it looks like Central does have the hands team on, and instead it's the Pooch, and it's fielded by Overton as he falls down, backpedaling at the 25.
Well, I think that was just maybe almost a kind of miscommunication there. A short kick from Fairbanks on that kickoff, and Overton really just kind of blamed himself that he slipped into the ground. And that's not something I'm sure he wanted, of course. There's really no one around. He could have taken that ball a little bit further downfield, but again, just a matter of frustration.
Nice kick, though, on the surprise Pooch kick with the team lining up in the hands. First down at the 25. As we will see the backup quarterback, number 17, Tom Saffel, in the game. And he will hand it off to another backup, number 31, Larry Gordon, with the carry on first down. And he doesn't get much. He may have lost a yard. Monroe on the stop, along with Valla.
I think it's a wise coaching decision. Get your big quarterback out of the game right now. Let the backups, who maybe haven't had that much minutes in the game, let them go out there and do their thing. Not because so much of the score, but really because you want to get as many players circulating in and out of the game as possible. You don't want anyone to be rusty for next week's game,
and you don't want to get anybody injured in a blowout situation as well. As we have a whistle and we have some flags on the play, and as wants to happen with a new quarterback in the game and a new set of linemen, that flag as somebody jumps, procedure against Central, and 5-yard penalty will make it 2nd and 16 just inside the 20.
Well, I think here you take your mobile quarterback out of the game, and you figure you're probably taking, most of your stars out of the game too. What kind of offense are you going to be going with right here?
And Gordon gets the carry, and he bounces outside. He's showing some of his stuff out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Burns gave him a little ride there, but he's near another first down for Westerville Central. And actually, they will spot him out of bounds with forward progress at the 31.
Again, Jordan being one of the big players here in the second half for Central. He's been the one that's been giving them all of their big runs, and nothing new here so far. He looks like he's been the one mainstay as far as offensive weapons go here for Central right now as the game winds down.
3rd down and 4. And the handoff will come through, and Gordon, and he's up near the first down, but he'll be spotted about a yard or so shy as we come down to 6:35 remaining in this ball game, and Westerville Central comfortably in command at 41-7, 4th and inches. And
not bringing out the kicking unit, doesn't look like it at least.
They will send the offense back on the field. They thought they were going to bring out the punt unit as well.
Hey, why not? The second line and third line have been able to move the ball down the field, get themselves in close for first down.
4th and inches, movement all over the place. And we'll just have to see whether or not that the movement was instigated by the offensive line or the defensive line. It appeared that the Westerville Central linemen at least did not move, that the Fairbanks line moved, and Westerville Central would have the first down, but, this is going to be illegal motion. I stand corrected again.
Well, I think, in a case like this where, again, it's not even so much as, a mistake on either side, just maybe there's a problem where you thought someone called the ball to be put in motion and that just didn't happen.
And Kyle Warden will punt, and they are late as Fairbanks in getting the punt return unit out, and Wood scrambling onto the field. Gets it at the 35. Not much at all for Jeff Wood out to the 43-yard line. 8-yard return off the punt of 35 yards. Not bad return, though, for a guy literally running onto the field to make that play.
Yeah, really, I think, at that point, it's just more of a, coaching really wasn't exactly sure of what the next plan of attack was going to be. As you can see, we're on TV. Hi, Mom, I'm on TV. I'll make sure I get you a tape of the game, I promise. But anyway, back to the game.
First down at the 43-yard line, as Phelps will stay in the game and operate out of the shotgun. And for the first time tonight, we see them go to 4 wides. As Central's showing another blitz. Phelps with time going underneath. The pass is broken up. He threw it behind Grimes, and there on the play, it looked like it was Cogswell. He's taken 1 to the barnyard, and he's had his paws on 2.
I think, Cogswell really has been able to keep his head in the game and his hands in the game as well. Anytime there's been, that close to an interception, Cogswell's been the man who's been there for them. For North, I should say. Or for Westerville Central.
Flags are down all over the place going up top. Burns with the catch at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 17 yards if it stands. A flag down at the line and a flag down as well in the secondary, which is thrown by the back judge, and one thrown down by the linesman, as we're going to have a little conference amongst the Zebras with 5:39 to go in the game, and Westerville Central about to up their record now to 2-7 with a date against Pickerington North coming up next Friday night. And it's going to be offsides against the offense. Very rare you see offsides against the offense.
That's true. It's usually more of an encroachment type call.
And I think we're going to have offsetting penalties there.
They're going to cancel each other out. It looks like all that for nothing pretty much.
Yeah, looked like that there was either substitution infraction or illegal participation, as there were 12 men in the huddle.
I think it would have to be illegal participation. It didn't look like the changeover was all that clean for Fairbanks.
As the flag also was thrown by the back judge and whistle and a timeout, I think.
No flags thrown.
And
we do have.
Nope.
Or is that?
Nope.
No, all right, we have no confirmation on a flag on the field.
All that was apparently was just the officials making sure everything was set, and now we're back to play. Phelps, nice crossing route, is caught by Esterline into Central territory, and he is planted at the 45-yard line. Houston Brown, the guy who's been big on offense tonight, he makes Esterline eat some turf.
That was a great pass and great reception to Esterline, but that's what you want to see, is players do things on both sides of the ball. And something gets fans really riled up and excited against. See a huge hit like that. I think we're all a bit bloodthirsty at heart. No one will not admit to that.
First down at the 47, wide open is Burns, and he makes the catch at the 25-yard line going back, but that forward progress will give him a gain of 21 yards and another first down for Fairbanks as they continue to plug away, even down by 34 points.
Looks like Fairbanks has had a passing game all along, so they just didn't want to show it until it was probably too late.
No huddle, hurry-up offense for the Panthers.
I think this could be a problem. They have a player scrambling off the field for Westerville Central.
And I think you're right, as I think they will call a timeout for that reason.
That was Chris Barthel, who was late getting off the field. And now we have number 66, Justin Bucklew, coming onto the field for Central.
As we had some confusion as we'll get a look at that last completion.
Phelps in the shotguns, we can see here. That was a nice reception.
And I think, too, now we're seeing Central and maybe more of a prevent zone here. 41-7, standing back, not allowing necessarily the big plays. But also, and again, maybe it's the situation, but we almost hate to bring it up, but you had it right. Where was the passing game when you're down 20-0, 27-0? At least the tempo of the offense, I think, was something where, in that situation, they had to do something to change at least the momentum of the game, and we didn't see him get it done. But I think we can't take anything away from Westerville Central. Just a fine effort on all sides of the ball. Offense, defense, and the special teams were solid again tonight.
Exactly. I mean, this has definitely been Central's game, and I give much credit to them. You know, offense and defense, they've been able to take this game and really make it their own. That was a bad snap. Looks like Phelps is going to pick it up.
And Phelps trying
He's
to
on
do
the run.
something with it.
Down his
Staying
feet.
on his play. And he throws it incomplete to Burns. Just got rid of it as that play imploded in a hurry.
I'd say so. You know, sometimes, again, going back to the fundamentals, bad snaps can make bad things happen.
And that's the fourth time tonight. That was the first time we've seen out of the shotgun, but we've seen 3 other fumbled snaps in this game.
Again, more players trying to scramble off the field, and looks like they're going to make the call this time.
Second down, and as you're right, a flag as they will hit Central for 12 men in the huddle, substitution infraction, as that's been the rule for the last couple of years. Used to be you could have 12 in the huddle and then run somebody off, but now
you can't even have that anymore.
Well, the problem with that is when you have 12 in the huddle and allow one guy to run off late, then attempt to almost get an unfair advantage by deceiving the offense. But back to live action as Phelps staying with it, and he'll lob one to the end zone for Wood, incomplete, and the flag goes down.
And rightfully thrown, too.
Number 29, Aaron Brecht, had his hand over Wood's face, and he was letting one of the officials know that he didn't agree with the call, but it will be a penalty first down, and it will be a 15-yard variety, so it will spot the ball about half the distance to the goal line there.
Ball on the 23-yard line. Fairbanks getting another good call. A fair penalty, I think.
And that one was just lobbed up for Jeff Wood, and it was Brecht coming over the top to make that play as we will get the signal. I think for both coaches just can't be happy, though, with the amount of penalties in this game. And, I mean, understandably, these are 2 young teams, not a lot of manpower for Fairbanks and no experience for Central, but still, these are things that coaches like to have worked out coming into the 9th week of the high school football season.
Yeah, I think for the coach for Central, he's going to be happy and angry both at the same time.
And under pressure, and Phelps will eat it. Number 66, John Bucklew. So now the second unit is getting their licks in with 4.5 minutes left in this game, as it will be a 10-yard loss, and I believe we have a timeout here, as we're going to take a look at that last sack, and again, backside pressure all night.
Phelps going about 6, 7, or 8 steps back, and it's Buck who comes in from his blind side and just takes him down. That's what you want to see, some relentlessness, especially your guys who haven't been on the field all that much in the game. That's the kind of fire you want to see in your players.
And it's been that backside pressure that has hurt them all night, as we couldn't exactly tell who the official signal that last timeout was for. I believe it was charged to Fairbanks. Fairbanks, as we get some assistance from the folks here in the press box. Like to thank them for all their help tonight with 4:37 left in this game. Also like to thank Scott Bacon for helping us out tonight.
He's been huge.
With the stats not only for us tonight, but also for WOBN, helping out all over. And just a kind of game, Jason, where it's one of those games where you might say, yeah, Fairbanks, they only had 26 guys. Anybody can beat them, but as a coach, you look to say, what can we build from this? Out of the shotgun, second down and 21 after the penalty, throwing.
Wow.
First and 21, and the catch is made, a sliding catch
Jeff Wood
by
again.
Wood at the 14-yard line. I don't know how the flag was against the offense in that situation.
No huddle, they're going to keep going.
And Phelps will stay in the shotgun. And he has a lot of time looking. Now he'll have to run it. And he'll lob it to the end zone, deflected, and it is caught for the touchdown. A great catch by Lance Grimes, as there were 2 receivers in the neighborhood, but Grimes reels it in. 4:08 to play, and it's now 41-13.
I don't even think Grimes was the intended receiver on that play. He just happened to want to come up with the ball.
It almost looked like they were trying to go backdoor to Burns on that play, as we'll take a look at it on the replay.
That's what it looks like the intended receiver was. Phelps rolling right, not something he wants to do right now. Throws it, and again, it's Grimes who comes with the ball instead of Burns. I think, for Grimes, that's just showing, good awareness on the field.
Point Point after is good, but let's say it again. Flag is down on the play, and it's down along the line of scrimmage, so we've had jumpy linemen all night.
Yeah, jumpy linemen all night, and really it's just, at this point, these aren't even significant penalties, but of course just things, that stop the game, and really nothing of interest could really happen from all of this. I mean, they've been so detrimental to Fairbanks. I think all they can do is just let it roll off them right now. As for Central, they're probably thinking, why are you calling penalties against us? We're up 41-14.
And a personal foul against Central after the play, so it will be assessed 15 yards on the kickoff. The extra point is good, and that's the third time we've seen that tonight after a PAT.
That's sportsmanlike conduct, usually.
Yeah, a personal foul and sportsmanlike conduct, a penalty of that variety. And now the kickoff comes at the 45, and don't be surprised if we see an onside kick and try and plug yet another one in. And
they certainly have had the defense to do it so far in the second half.
Bob Fresh is probably doing a slow simmer on that near sideline for Westerville Central. His team leading 41-14, but coaches always talk about playing the full 48 minutes and playing it out every play, keeping your keeping your focus going into next week's game, and just wanting to finish this game out strong anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I can see the frustration on his face right now as he sets his players out into the field. He's saying, don't let this, yes, the game might be in our favor. Well, it's more than might be in our favor, but don't start getting lax right now. We still got a little over 4 minutes left to go. Let's not stop the game and keep this, prolonged because of stupid penalties.
Vola will tee it up on the 45-yard line, and I expect here to see the onside kick, as Central does have somewhat of a hands team left on. The last time they did pooch, and we'll see what they come here. And